It's draft night number 2, folks. Welcome in to draft night in Nashville. 102.5, 106.3, The Game. We are on 94.9 The Fan and Sports Talk 830 across the Game Nashville Sports Network. I am Chase McCabe alongside the fabulous Joe Rexroad. We are live at Boom Baz here in East Nashville as the Titans right now are scheduled to be on the clock for pick 35, their second in this selection. And Joe, we'll see if they stick and pick, as they like to say. But I know that Paul Kuharsky has reported they are trying to trade back.
Yes. So we will see if we got to let me start right out and have to clear my throat.
That's okay.
We will see if they start right out with a pick, and that's it for the night, or are we going to wait around a bit for them to pick and then see them pick later tonight, which I think would be better for them if they can pull it off.
I do too. I mean, look, I would love to get one of these receivers or, what have you at 35 or an edge rusher or whatnot. But if they can trade back then and get more picks, I think that would be the best for them. I mean, that's what Borgonzi has been preaching since he got the job, is that, hey, we're going to build through the draft. We're going to try and get as many picks as possible because we know how important those picks in the top 100 are. Yeah,
preaching, but not doing. At least not yet.
He's trying. He's doing his best. Joe.
Do as I say, not as I do. Yes. As I see young Arlo Vingan walk across the floor. What's up, yes. Arlo Vingan? They made a big deal about that, right? Chad Brinker talking about that, about accumulating these top 100 picks. This is a great year to have as many as possible because according to the prevailing evaluation, basically from the last half of the last night until past this second round and into maybe midway the third, it's about the same level of player. That's what most people think. So, that's why last night you saw some guys go in the first round who, were projected in the 40s, 50s range. We have a lot of guys sitting here right now who are projected to go in the first round because a lot of people think there's not much difference between last night's, this entire round that we're about to have, and then a lot of the third round. So, to me, get as many swings at it as you can get.
That's what you got to do, man. I mean, that's how you're going to build this thing. Because, it doesn't matter if you take Luther Burden, who I think is that the consensus that everybody wants?
That was my prediction today.
Yeah.
That they're, and that's the thing. I mean, they can, again, you can want to trade back, but who needs to get to 35? Who is calling you and saying, we got to get to 35 for someone? I mean, you have to have that, and then we'll see if they do. But, yeah, that was my prediction today, and I like him a lot. I mean, I'm with TD on Luther Burden. I think he's a really good player. I think he's a guy you plug and play, and he's a guy you can grow with and would be a really nice addition for Cam Ward.
Yeah, and, I mean, I would love to have it too, but if you can add more guys – because, look, I have to listen every day. My partner in crime, Big Joe, he doesn't think you get anything past the fourth round, which a lot of times you don't. But, Cortland Finnegan probably has something to say about that. Blaine Bishop, who was drafted in a round that doesn't exist anymore, has something to say about that. So you certainly can hit on some of those guys.
You can, but it is different now than then because of NIL. Because a lot of those guys who were leaving before, like, hey, man, it's worth getting some – getting NFL money, I'm going to give it a shot. Now we're like, oh, actually, I can come back to Clemson and make $400K. Okay, I'm going to do that. And so the 6th and 7th, I think, are weaker than they used to be, and I think that's probably how it's going to be. As long as things are like that in college football. So I do think now there's a bigger drop off there, and 4th, 5th. You can still get really good players. And look, you're still going to find guys who you're going to have hits. You're going to have hits in the 6th and 7th, but I think they're going to be a little fewer and far between.
I think you're right. The Browns are officially on the clock. I'm thinking this is going to be a quarterback. Earlier today, I said it was going to be Shedeur Sanders. Now I'm thinking it might not be Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah. So there's people talking about Tyler Shuck possibly?
Yeah, it could be him from Louisville.
Where's Stilly? Is he dancing around giddy that Shedeur might keep falling? I've never seen anybody more excited about someone else's misfortune. My goodness. Do we have Mel Kiper up there complaining? Is Mel Kiper shedding a tear for Shedeur Sanders?
Let's see. That's the NFL network that I'm looking at. Where is I don't see Kiper, but yeah, he probably is.
They might have banned ESPN in this place after last night. Cam Ward was picked. Oh, by the way, Shedeur Sanders should have gone there. And here's a trade, the huge trade from the Jaguars to the Jaguars-Browns trade, which was huge news. They kind of bumped into the
That was
moment.
a big trade.
Yeah.
What did you think of the video of Travis Hunter walking in, and then he gets asked, hey, if receiver Travis Hunter is up against corner Travis Hunter, who's coming down with the ball? And he goes, Travis Hunter. Like, what are we doing here? Come on now.
I tell you what, man.
He's got personality, though. I mean, look, he's going to be a good player. The Titans, I like the pick. I like Cam Ward. I thought it was cool today with Warren Moon. But last night, there are two guys that got drafted that the Titans are going to have to deal with for a long time. And Travis Hunter is one of them with the Jacksonville. Tyler Warren's the other with the Colts.
Yeah. Yeah, no question.
Who fell to them. Like, immediately, when I was watching, I was like, oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Thanks,
and then,
Bears.
Yeah.
Good
and
job,
like,
Bears.
I bet they pulled a hammy running up to turn the card in.
Yeah. No, I mean I love that for the Colts. I think he's great. I think he's the best tight end. Look, Loveland's a good player, but I just think the Bears blew that, and it's going to be an obvious comparison, right? Of Travis Hunter. Not that they're the same player, but Travis Hunter will be going up against Cam Ward twice a year. And, of course, we're going to be tracking these careers. But, it's funny, Chase, it wasn't that long ago. We're like, we're going to be tracking Anthony Richardson and Will Levis. And now, Levis is out here, and Anthony Richardson might lose his job to Daniel Jones. Happens in what feels like 5 minutes.
Well, I don't think there's a might about it. I think Richardson sucks. Not to sound like Jared. Jared is pro Richardson.
Well, what Jared just said probably sucked like 97 times last year, so it's hard to we've got to work it out of the set.
It's still
here.
kind of around.
Lingering. Yeah. No, hey, but here's, so Anthony Richardson, think about, like we were talking about, Robbie was talking about this today, this is a guy who best testing ever for a prospect, also had barely played any football at all. And I think they did a huge disservice to him. And I think that was one good thing with Cam Ward and the Titans is he's played a ton of football. I mean, because I don't see how he doesn't start week one. And I do think even though time, especially with a bad team, is ideal to give a guy to sit around, he is ready. He's way more ready than Richardson was for sure.
I don't know. It's just like the more I hear him talk and the more I watch him, there's just this, maybe I'm like them and I'm getting drunk on the story and all that stuff, but it's just like I'm cheering for him. I'm pulling for him, but I just think there's something there. I'm not buying into this whole Mahomes thing, but maybe there is something there. The pick is in for the Browns, and what we're going to do for those of you that are currently listening on 102.5 The Game and on 94.9 The Fan, here in about a minute and a half or so, we are going to step away, and then Vanderbilt baseball will take over on 102.5. The Sounds will take over on 94.9. We will be on Sports Talk 8:30. The Game Nashville app. You can watch us on YouTube, Twitter, X, or just simply go to thegamenashville.com, and you can keep up listening to this show. We will rejoin on the other stations when Vandy Baseball and Sounds Baseball is done. So just wanted to pass that along. We'll see if we can get the Browns pick in. Connor, you let me know when the commissioner or whoever's doing the pick is at the mic, and we'll see if we can get that in before we step away.
Am I allowed to scoop them if it's if someone's on?
Do you have it?
No, I don't have it yet. But I'm just saying we don't have to wait for.
Who is this doing the pick? Is that because remember they get players or former players to do it?
Yeah, I don't know. I cannot tell, but he's putting up the big dub, which is should be foreign to Browns fans, but it's nice that he's.
It's Joe Thomas.
Oh, okay.
That's Joe Thomas.
Boy,
holy cow!
You get a couple of years away from the game, lose about 100 pounds.
Yeah. Carson Schweisinger, the linebacker from UCLA.
No kidding. Okay.
So they also pick, was it 36?
Yep.
So maybe that's the quarterback?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Or maybe Kirk Cousins is the plan all along, So this guy, by the way, and I've got, I got Brugler, my guy Brugler's top 100 here, and he's got him 38th.
The Beast? Is that the Beast?
It is the Beast. He's got him linebacker 2 in this draft and 38th. So interesting. So, I mean, the quarterbacks are still sitting there,
They are. And so that puts Houston on the clock just before the Titans at 34. So we will step aside. Again, you can listen on Sports Talk 8:30 a.m. Sounds Baseball is coming up next on 94.9 The Fan. Vanderbilt Baseball coming up next on 102.5 The Game. Chase McCabe, Joe Rexroad. We're live at Boom Baz here in East Nashville. And Draft Night in Nashville is presented by Hardee's, Shane Company, Twin Peaks, Parma Tractor and Equipment, Professional Home Improvements, Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, right here on the Game Nashville Sports Network.
The Nashville Cats are back with fun football action this spring. The Cats take on Southwest Kansas Saturday night, April 26th. Catch the live play-by-play action on Totally Hits 93.3. For tickets, go to thenashvillecats.com. That's thenashvillecats.com.
The 4th Annual 615 Open, presented by Gary.
All right, we have a trade to announce. The Tennessee Titans have traded pick 35 to the Seattle Seahawks, who are now on the clock. We are waiting for what the compensation is. Back here at Boom Baz in East Nashville, Chase McCabe, Joe Rexroad, here with you on thegamenashville.com, the Game Nashville app, and Sports Talk 8:30 a.m. Well, Joe, they were trying, and they have succeeded.
And they have. And so Seattle, I'm just going to assume Seattle is.
Yeah, they're taking Burton. Because Jaden Higgins just went off the board to Houston. I think they're taking Luther
Jumping
Burton.
into, and the receiver run is on. That's what you think. Okay. I mean, that
so where
that
did
could be.
What was Seattle's pick?
Yeah, I'm not sure off the top of my head here.
Because to me, that's a pretty good fall. 18, so 50.
Okay,
is what I have. So there you go. That's your third. That's a third. That gets you a third rounder.
Right. That should get you 50, and then whatever they have in the third. I would think that would be the compensation.
So we're all right. Paul Kuharski is saying Titans will get 52 and 82.
Okay. See, I think I love it for the Titans.
Obviously,
there's going to be some good players going here in the next few picks, and I understand it's like, man, could have had him, but if the evaluators are correct, and again, this is a consensus evaluation, you are going to get a player at 82 that isn't necessarily that different from a player at 25.
Well,
and that's you need so many holes plugged on this roster. This is a good development for the Titans.
I forget that Cooper Kupp is with them now, with Seattle. I can't decide if Seattle's going to be good or not. I mean, I know they signed Sam Darnold and broke Jared's heart.
Yes. Yeah, don't bring that up again.
It's
still painful. We're still mourning.
Well, you want
the non-signing
Sanders, so.
of – well, I'm just saying I think he's the best quarterback in this class. I wouldn't have drafted him high either. I wouldn't have drafted any of them high, including Cam. But
this is just – okay, is it fair to say this is just a weird draft class?
Yeah, it's different.
Because it's hard to – it's like, oh, I like that player. I like that player. Whereas there have been players in the past or draft classes in the past where you're like, I love this guy. Like Joe Burrow. He's going to be the best.
Yeah.
And we're not doing that over anybody.
Yeah, I mean, it's still like a much better QB class than the 1 year. I've never seen anything like the year with Pickett, Malik. That year.
Right.
It's amazing that we would even have a year. Here it is on the broadcast officially, 52-82 for.
I don't think this is a bad class. I just think maybe this is the NIL era that we're in. That it's just you have a lot of the same type player. Same value.
It's hard to tell, maybe, but I mean, it still changes life. Like, for example, in the last couple of years, I think the receiver drafts have been elite, like awesome guys. And this year, it's a bunch of good guys, which again is why I like this move to move back because I like Luther Burden. I do. And if they would have, taken Luther Burden at 35, then okay, I like that. But there are a lot of other guys here at receiver that they can grab. We just saw that was the Texans, right? Who took Jaden Higgins?
Yes.
Yeah, Jaden Higgins. But I mean Trey Harris from Ole Miss is a guy.
I think they go receiver. I think Seattle.
But there's also that's the thing that the run on. There's a ton of edges still. And of course, the really interesting one right now, guy that Brugler has 10th, guy that everybody had in the top half of the first round. Certainly, the first round is Mike Green from Marshall, but there's some off the field stuff with him, and so what does that mean? How far of a fall? There was all this stuff about James Pierce, different, but still, the Falcons gave up a lot to come back in and get him.
I don't mind James Pierce, like picking James Pierce in the first round. I think he's a good player, and we'll see if some of the stuff comes to fruition. But I think he's a good player. That was a stupid trade. They gave up way too much, I think.
It was an eyebrow raiser for sure. I mean,
Terry Fontenot is going to get fired, probably for a lot of reasons, but that's not going to help him unless Pierce is just a baller.
It's 2 straight years where they've done something in the first round. You're like, whoa, really?
Yeah.
Now, of course, the Penix thing might work out though. The last one might work out all right if he's what they hope he is, this year in his second year.
So we're waiting. They are. 000s, or I don't know what are they doing here? Now we go. Okay, fine. There's too much downtime in between picks. Just make the pick already.
It is better now. It is better tonight, and then it gets even better.
So Richard Sherman
rounds 4 through 7. Rounds 4 through 7. This pick's just go on the ticker, and you're like, oh, I missed the last 3 picks.
All
so,
right. Sherm, who you got? Who's Seattle taking? Seattle takes.
This is an incredible amount of drama. Incredible amount of. I need to start just scooping the broadcast. The broadcast.
Yeah, I'm fine with you doing that at this point. Because Richard Sherman is taking a sweet time. Nick.
They took.
The safety.
Emin
Ward. Yeah. Okay.
I tell you what. I really like him. Jared was just talking about him. We had TD on today. TD took issue with the idea that he is in the same class as Malachi Starks. Of course, the Ravens if the Ravens draft a safety, I believe that safety is going to be great. And Malachi Starks is a heck of a player. But Emin Ward here, I mean, he's absolutely off the charts. He's on the Bruce Feldman Freaks list. And here's some highlight. I mean, and I would not have hated the Titans, and I still would not hate the Titans finding themselves, a rangy playmaking safety. People don't, it's not a quote unquote premium position.
Right.
But, the Ravens seem to be pretty smart, and they seem to really value rangy safeties and their defense, for example.
I know this is going to shock you, but I texted Jared. I'm like, so do you like that move? He says, not really.
Oh, really? Well, what's wrong? I figured he'd be okay. He just doesn't like whatever.
I guess it's that. But no, I
think the compensation is appropriate. 52
I hate
and 82.
moving, right. I know. I hate moving down that far. And maybe, one thing to remember, they do have 2 4th rounders. So maybe they can then try and take 52 and move back up. But
possible.
I think you needed to be in the 3rd round. I think this is a kind of draft, like you've been saying, where the players are so similar, in the value, that it was going to behoove you to have a 3rd round pick this year.
Yeah.
I'm not saying a 3rd round pick is more important than 35 or a 2nd round pick, but it just was one. If you were going to stick and pick at 1, then you were probably going to have to make some moves somewhere, and that's what they did.
Yeah. No,
so
I think it's good. It'll be good. Like a lot of good players.
Yeah.
Out here for them. And again, the edges. Like when I mentioned Green, but Ezaraku for Boston College is still sitting there. You got a lot of JTT. I like JTT a lot from Ohio State. I'm trying to.
You'll like this. So Koharski,
Nick Skirton, Jack Sawyer, a lot of edges. Jordan Birch.
You've already spilt something on the.
Yeah, this was pre-spilled.
Oh, okay.
This is
okay.
Blame this on Jared too. Blame everything on.
Koharski tweeted the Jimmy Johnson trade chart. Number 35 was 550. 52 is 380. 82 is 180, equaling 560. According to that, the Titans win the trade by 10 points.
There you go.
So, again, the Titans, if you're just tuning in, have traded pick 35 to Seattle and gotten picks 52 and 82. So they will pick twice tonight, at least right now, which is good considering we're here through the 3rd round.
Yeah.
We got stuff to talk about.
Gives us more to do here.
And Seattle then takes the safety. How do you say his last name?
Emin-Wari. Okay, so do we have the Browns? I can give you a scoop on the Browns.
Quinshon
Judkins, Ohio State via Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Boy, that's a little bit of a – I mean, he's a really good player, but, I mean, like, for example, he's 60th here on this big board.
Well, and the running back from I'm blanking on his name, from Ohio State is still
the other running back. From
the other,
Travion.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely would have thought Travion Henderson would go before Quinshon. Travion's a little bit more of the home run hitter, but Judkins is a physical back. I mean, he's good. Gosh, they're loaded this year. Ridiculous. They already
Ohio State.
Yeah. I mean, they already are leading the way after the first round. And by the way, I think it was 26 of the 32 picks in the first round were either Big Ten or SEC, with Ohio State leading the way. I mean, both of their backs are probably going to go here in the 2nd round of the draft.
So here's what we got so far. The Raiders are now on the clock in round number 2. Carson Schweisinger, the linebacker from UCLA, goes to Cleveland at 33. Jaden Higgins, the wide receiver from Iowa State, to Houston. The Titans trade 35. Seattle moves in and gets Emin-Wari, the safety from South Carolina, and then Quinshon Judkins from Ohio State, the running back, goes to Cleveland, who got another pick because of the trade with Jacksonville last night at 4. So the Raiders on the clock. Titans will now pick middle of the 2nd round, the 20th pick of the so past the middle of the 2nd round, the 20th pick in the 2nd round, pick 52.
Really interested here on Will Johnson, cornerback out of Michigan.
I was just about to bring him up.
Yeah, he is. I think we got another trade. I think he's a top 10 quality player. But, whenever you hear knee injury.
This might be him right here.
Miami trying to get rid of.
This could be Johnson right here. Miami trades with Oakland, with the Raiders to move up to 37. So we'll see the compensation there. I think you're going to see a lot more trades tonight than we did last. It kind of got towards the end last night. Obviously, Jacksonville had the big one, but we'll see.
Will Johnson, I mean, you're talking about a tremendous prospect, but, mysterious. Like, whenever you get into, like, knee injury that people don't know exactly what it is, obviously. Well,
yeah, because you were talking this morning. Y'all were like, isn't it just the ACL? Or
yeah, I thought it was just your standard knee injury, but apparently there are some things about it that are at least not publicly reported. And that makes you worry a little bit. You know, is there some kind of degenerative thing going on? It's not like, as far as I know, he had like some disastrous, on the field thing or anything like that. But I mean, he's a really good player. And I think you may be onto something here. With
I got
something with.
All right, so here's the compensation. Miami gets 37 and pick 143, which is a 5th rounder. The Raiders get 48 in the 2nd round, 98 in the 3rd round, and 135 in the 4th round.
Okay.
So
and the Raiders certainly similar to the Titans.
Jared might freak out on that one because that's a little bit better. He did. He
just pulled his car over there. Scream into the ether.
He did tweet that he likes it from the trade chart, but still would have tried to get a 2nd next year.
Yeah, I get that.
All right, the Dolphins are taking all these names I can't say. Jonah Savaiane from Arizona. A guard. They took a guard.
And he is on this big board 55th. So, boy, they really, really were motivated to go get this guy.
All right. Trading up to get that guy. I don't know about that. But.
Well, if someone you love, you got them high on your board. You're worried about somebody up in that range grabbing them. The Raiders will take those picks. The Raiders, like the Titans, have all kinds of holes to fill.
I mean, the Raiders could take a quarterback.
Yeah.
All right. So the fact that Cleveland has used both their picks. To get 9 quarterbacks, and now the Raiders were in a position to take a quarterback. They trade back. Just they must have low grades on both these guys, or lower grades on both these guys.
Yeah, but that's the thing. And also, you're presuming that others aren't going to grab them. It's obviously the Raiders. I mean, they have a quarterback, but Cleveland. I mean, the more this goes, the more I wonder if are we going to wind back around to they've had this plan to go give Atlanta whatever they need to go bring in Cousins,
Right.
I mean, Stefanski and Cousins, it would make sense. I thought it made sense a few weeks ago. But I mean, at this point, now granted, maybe they just feel like they can wait a little bit longer or they can move back in, try to get their guy. But it's surprising. It's really surprising to me that not just Shedeur, but even as we go along here, you're sitting there looking at Shuck as another guy who, some people, I mean, we're talking about him as a 1st rounder, and I'm really fascinated to see who takes the plunge on Jalen Milroe. I'm assuming that happens sometime tonight.
Yeah, I'm thinking 3rd round, something like that. All right, we are going to step away once again for a second here as we are live in Boomba's in East Nashville. It is draft night in Nashville. Come by and see us. So the crowd's coming in, having some drinks, watching the draft. And again, we're at Boomba's in East Nashville, presented by Hardee's, Shane Company, Parman Tractor and Equipment, Professional Home Improvements, Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, here on the Game Nashville Sports Network and Sports Talk 830 AM.
in surplus. We'll start off with Vanderbilt at 30-11 so far this season, and 11-7 in conference play. Good for 5th place in the SEC standings. To lead things off for Vanderbilt, the DH at 6'3", the junior from Trophy Club, Texas, Riley Nelson. Batting second for Vanderbilt, Brody Johnston, the third baseman, a 6'2" freshman from Ooltewah, Tennessee. Batting third for Vanderbilt, Rustin Rigdon, left fielder, a 6-foot freshman from Metter, Georgia. Batting fourth is R.J. Austin, center fielder, a 5'11" junior from Atlanta, Georgia. Batting fifth for Vanderbilt is Braden Holcomb, first baseman, a 6'4" sophomore from Orlando, Florida. Batting sixth is Jacob Humphrey, right fielder, 5'10" senior from Standish, Maine. Batting seventh is Jonathan Vastine, the shortstop, a 5'11" senior from Bartow, Florida. Batting eighth for Vandy, Colin Barzy, the catcher, 6'3", a sophomore from Naperville, Illinois. Batting ninth is Mike Mancini, second baseman, 5'11", the junior from Endwell, New York. And today's starting pitcher for Vanderbilt, the 6-foot junior from Russ, Texas, J.D. Thompson. Head coach for Vanderbilt in his 23rd season, the Hall of Famer, Tim Corbin. Now for Ole Miss at 29-12 and 10-8 in conference play. To lead things off, it's Hayden Federico, the DH, a freshman from West Monroe, Louisiana. Batting second is Luke Hill, third baseman, a junior from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Batting third, Judd Udemar, the second baseman, a junior from Charlotte, North Carolina. Batting fourth is Mitchell Sanford, left fielder, a senior from Berwick, Louisiana. Batting fifth is Ryan Mormon, right fielder, a senior from Lockport, Illinois. Batting sixth is Will Furness, the first baseman. Batting seventh is Austin Fawley, the catcher, a sophomore from West Palm Beach, Florida. Batting eighth is Isaac Humphrey, center fielder. And batting ninth is Luke Chang, the shortstop, a senior from Olney, Maryland. And today's starting pitcher for Ole Miss. He got the start in the championship winning game back in 2022. Hunter Elliott, 6'3", a junior from Tupelo, Mississippi. Head coach for Ole Miss in his 25th season with 935 victories, Mike Bianco. Home plate umpire here today, Eric Gaucher calls the balls and strikes. At first base, David Savage. At second base, Will Posey. At third base, Clint Lawson. There are 4 SEC umpires here today. Those are today's starting lineups presented by Martin & Surplus. Contact Martin & Surplus for solutions to your insurance, risk management, and group benefit needs. Martin & Surplus, insuring Vandy fans since 1978. Well, First Bank makes being a super fan super easy with their exclusive Vanderbilt debit card. It's back on the drawers every time you pay. First Bank, bank local, get more. Member FDIC. So for Vanderbilt, Nelson to lead things off. Left versus left. Gold uniforms for Vanderbilt here today. Blue uniforms trimmed in red for Ole Miss. With some muggy temperatures here today. The first pitch from Elliott. That one is swung on grounded toward the right side. Picked up by the shortstop Chang. He steps, he throws. And it's a 4-3 putout to start things off here in the top of the first inning. Up next for Vanderbilt, batting second is Brody Johnston, the third baseman, a freshman from Ooltewah, Tennessee. Left versus right. First pitch for Brody on its way. That goes up and away. Fastball at 90. 1 ball, no strikes for Brody. Batting .270 this season, has 9 home runs and 40 RBIs. Elliott kicks and throws. Fastball runs inside. 2 balls, no strikes. Well, for Vanderbilt.
Check, check. see it. Okay, so one of my friends said that we kept going off the air talking about 102.5. So I'm wondering if it was working and you were just, but you hear things in studio?
I don't hear anything now.
Okay, go back to, let me see the board. Let me go back and just let me look at the board for a minute. Don't move around. Back up, get a wide shot, and then do you see where on the right side at the bottom where it has the 1, 2, 3, and 4? Yeah, push 2. The monitor's up. So that's 8:30. All right, let me look at the sources up close on the board. Okay, that's Comrax. It's 8:30 a.m. switcher.
That's the computer.
Yeah, which that doesn't really matter right now. What's over here? What's the other thing that's on?
That's just the other 830 one.
Okay, that could be why. Like, I think it's one or the other.
Yeah. Okay. It's on that one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You do? Boombas here in East Nashville as it is draft night in Nashville. Chase McCabe, Joe Rexroad here with you. We're live on 8:30 a.m. There it is. Having issues all over the place. Connor Newt is the man doing a great job back in the studio. Again, we are live on the Game Nashville Sports Network, the Game Nashville app, and Sports Talk 8:30 a.m. You can watch us on YouTube and X as well, wherever you watch the social media things. But we're rocking and rolling here at Boombas in East Nashville. A lot to catch up on.
Yeah, it's Ohio State. We're just talking about one Ohio State back, Quinshon Judkins. Well, the other one just went right after him, and Mike Vrabel has a Buckeye joining him with the Patriots. Travion Henderson, the Vrabster, gets more support for Drake May. So Travion Henderson, more of the home run hitter. So Ohio State has two backs who go in the top 38 of this draft. And then the Bears.
The Bears.
Take Luther Burden.
There he is.
At 39 out of Missouri, so he is gone. So, I think Jaden Higgins, Luther Burden, two guys who would have looked good in Titans uniform, they will be playing elsewhere. And the Bears, they are absolutely giving Caleb Williams everything they can give him. They've now gone Colston Loveland out of Michigan and Luther Burden out of Missouri. So they are absolutely flooding the field with pass catchers.
Tell you what I'd be okay with if you're staying at receiver. If Jack Beck's there, Jalen Royals, or Kyle Williams. I like any of those guys.
I like them too. What about Trey Harris? Not a Trey Harris fan?
I'm okay with him.
A little iffy on Trey Harris?
I'm a little iffy. Now, the other thing is, and here we go, Saints take a quarterback.
Tyler Shuck. There you go.
Shuck.
The Louisville Cardinal to the Saints. So he did go before Shedeur Sanders.
Yes, he did.
Jared is giddily screaming in his car right now.
If one of those receivers or an edge rusher is not there at 52, what about Elijah Arroyo?
Yeah, I mean, the tight end of Miami.
Yeah.
Obviously a guy who caught a lot of passes from Cam Ward. Great connection there. Hey, they need
Kyle Williams did too at Wazoo.
That's right. They need to upgrade. They need to upgrade tight end. There is no doubt. You look at the edges right now. There's a lot of edges that we're still sitting here on Landon Jackson, right? We're sitting here JTT and Jack Sawyer, Mike Green. The kid, the boss. Wait, did he go?
Who?
Ezaraku did.
No, Ezaraku's still there.
He's still out there too. Yeah, he's still out there too. I mean, the edges. Skirton from Texas A&M. So Jordan Birch from Oregon, mentioned him earlier. Oladejo from UCLA. I mean, there's a lot of edges out there, and it's. So I'm not against the idea of an Arroyo at all. I think that makes sense in terms of chemistry. But they will have good targets at the obvious need positions.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, I think they're going to be okay. I mean, I definitely think that there's good talent out there that they're going to get with one of these picks.
You've got a little bit of a run on running backs here. You still have Dylan Sampson out there. You still have my guy, Scadaboo. Scadaboo better go tonight or this league has lost its mind. Tell you what. Got another trade? Another trade?
Another trade? All right, what do we got?
Nope. Get that camera. You can just put the camera on Chase.
Pick it up and move it.
Close up on Chase's face.
there we go. That's better. Thank you.
I don't want the camera on me when I'm eating this gigantic tater tot that you guys are telling me about. I'm really excited about this gigantic tater tot.
Yeah. Oh, the tater kegs? The tater kegs here at Boombas are fantastic.
Man.
Thank you, Sean. Sean Ford, our fearless leader, our general manager, is here. Wayne,
Get in
Wayne,
there.
thank you.
There
you are.
You're on this one.
I mean, we're frozen there.
We're frozen on that one.
But we're good here.
There we go.
It's weird. Yeah. But we're good.
Tater kegs. My gosh. That's just a beautiful idea.
All right, so the Bills are now on the clock. So this is what's happened so far. Luther Burden just went to Chicago. Tyler, is Shuck?
Shuck. I mean, yeah.
Shuck?
Yeah, more than Shug. Yeah.
Goes eighth. Now the Bills are on the clock. So they made the trade?
So the Bears were about to pick again.
Yeah.
They traded the Bills. The Bills trade 56, 62, and 109 to Chicago for 41, 72, and 240. Oh, there it is up on the screen there.
Wow.
So the Bills have jumped into position here to grab somebody at 41.
So the Bears are going to have 3 second-round picks.
Yes.
That's amazing. They're building there. In Chicago.
Got a lot of work to do.
Ryan
A
Porth.
lot of work to do there.
What's up, Porthy?
Yeah.
Not listening right now.
Better be listening.
He should be. I'll call his boss. So the Bills waiting. I forget. The thing I love about the draft is they'll tell you who people signed. Like I forgot that Bosa had gone to Buffalo. Joey Bosa.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
Just add him to that defense.
Yeah.
Because they needed help.
Add him for 4 games, but
they needed help.
But yeah.
You know.
So this by the way, this completes the 2023 big Panthers-Bears trade out of that to get Bryce Young. So now the Bears again out of that trade, DJ Moore, Darnell Wright, Tyreek Stevenson, Caleb Williams, and Luther Burden for Bryce Young. So, the Bears still stink, thankfully, but they are making some good moves here.
So the Titans again will not pick until 52. So about 11 picks from now is when the Titans will be back up. The pick is in for Buffalo. What's your feel here?
My feel is that it'll be defensive tackle T.J. Sanders from South Carolina.
Okay.
Because Twitter told me that's
Twitter.
Yes.
Tipping picks over here.
South Carolina, man. South Carolina's defense, maybe we didn't give them enough credit, last year for the talent they had on the field. And I'm trying to find him here in the top 100. Yeah, we've got him 70th here. So, I guess some people would look at this a little bit of reach. Some of the Patriots media a little bit down on that Travion Henderson pick, by the way, just because of all the needs they have. They extended Ramondre Stevenson, so they have a good back.
Yeah.
So, but when Vrabel gets a chance to draft a Buckeye, he's going to draft a Buckeye, right? Come on.
Oh, of course. He's got to have one on every team. So while we wait for Buffalo to give their pick, just real quick, I'm going to say a player that's still available. You tell me if you're surprised they're still there or not. Will Johnson, I think we all kind of agree.
Yeah.
Mike Green.
Yeah, no doubt.
Ezraku.
Yeah, those are 3 guys that everybody had in the first round.
You said Alexander's about to go. Is that who Buffalo's taking?
T.J. Sanders.
So Darius Alexander.
Yeah, a little.
Siobhan Ravel.
Yeah, you would think it would be coming up pretty soon with him. This is about right for him,
Yeah.
but some people love him as a man press corner out of East Carolina.
Shador, that's well documented. Elijah Arroyo, I feel like this is probably
we're in his range. Yeah, we're in
the range.
We're in that.
Trey Amos.
Yeah, the Ole Miss Trays.
I saw some mocks that had
go.
him at the end of the first round.
Yeah, But again, that's the thing about this draft is and you knew it was going to happen. Is if it really is so close between 15 and 75 or whatever it is, different people have different ranges. Then that's what you're going to have, right? You're going to have first round projections who go late second, and you're going to have, like the Lions took their guy who was picked in the 40s, 50s range last night in the first round. Tyleik Williams out of Ohio State, defensive tackle.
By the way, what about Mason Taylor if he's there at 52?
Another good tight end, and that's another guy who's a little bit surprising.
Yeah,
that he's still sitting there. Yeah, to me, it really is. We always think about these things in terms of need, understandably so, right?
Sure.
But I just think that the teams that win in this league are the ones who are faithful to their best available board, and it's just like so. The Titans. I guess the good and the bad thing is when your roster is this bad, the need is always satisfied. Would be with just about anything you do. So a difference-making tight end is probably an underrated need for this team. It's desperate that they get another receiver. It's desperate that they get really another edge. And to me, they need a linebacker. They need another safety. They probably should draft a corner. I think they need offensive line depth. Is there anything I'm missing?
I really hope the Jets. God, if they took Shador.
I'm here for it.
Have you looked?
Let me see here. I don't.
I haven't looked, but I mean, if they took Shador,
At this point.
would that not
Okay,
be
wait a
such a
minute.
Jets thing to do?
Oh, absolutely. Let's see.
Are there any Jets fans in here? Do we have any Jets fans?
Jets fans. Crickets.
No? Okay, no.
Okay. Well, you just spoken into existence. Mason Taylor to the Jets. So there you go. So the Jets go with a really talented tight end.
Chad Withrow
Out of
tweeted
LSU.
Shador headed to day 3 at this point. What if he goes to day 3?
Then I will.
Can he go back to Colorado?
I will hat in hand go to Jared and say, Jared, he's not even a TV prospect. He's not even a radio prospect. He's a streaming prospect. He's a streaming prospect, Jared.
Well, that's kind of what we are right now, but that's okay. So Schefter tweeted, the Saints selecting Tyler Shuck at 40 breaks a streak that dates back to 1971,
Archie.
which was the last time they used a first or second round pick on a quarterback. Archibald Manning.
Pretty wild, huh?
That is crazy.
Yeah, the first round streak continues. So 53 years.
My
first round quarterback.
So one of my dad's favorite stories, and this is one of the, you know how dads will tell stories where you're kind of like, I think this might be true, but I'm sure there's more to it.
Uh-huh.
So he used to tell me the story that there was this girl he was trying to impress that loved Archie Manning when he was at Ole Miss. And so my dad had gone to the Vanderbilt Ole Miss game at Vanderbilt, and back in those days you could pretty much get anywhere you wanted to. So he was outside the locker room, and Archie's like talking to somebody, and he's got his helmet right here. So he grabbed Archie's helmet to try and steal it. Turned around and ran into like some old man by accident, and Archie cleated him and took the helmet back.
Whoa. I like the boldness.
Yeah.
So he was going to take Archie's sweaty helmet to her
I guess,
and say,
yeah, I guess. I don't know.
I beheaded Archie for you.
Yep, basically. Basically. So let's see. So do the Jets have back-to-back picks?
No, they just
Oh,
haven't,
you
they
just
just
said
haven't
yeah,
yeah,
okay.
they just haven't said it on the
Gotcha.
broadcast yet, but yeah, so Mason Taylor to the Jets, and now the Niners are on the clock. So yeah, this is where sometimes you can start getting, if these teams start rocking a little bit, all of a sudden the broadcast has to start, making up for lost picks. Niners are interesting, sort of. Looks like their window's kind of closing on them, but they're still, kind of pressing forward. We've talked a little bit about, Preds fan number 1 maybe playing a little tight end for the Tennessee Titans.
Oh, yeah, I would do that. I mean, look, if
1 year left.
I would do it. I mean, I think, would he take a hometown discount because he lives here and all that stuff? Like, I mean, he's hurt a lot. Like, he had a good year last year. I mean, kind of bounced back, but
He's a great player when he's on the field. Still
the thing,
great all around. It does everything great at tight end.
The reason I like the Lockett signing so much is, a young quarterback's best friend is either going to be the veteran slot receiver or a tight end. The safety blanket.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I thought last year they had I liked the signing last year, and it didn't lead to much. But no, I mean, it's a needed signing. I mean, he is going to play and contribute, and definitely durability is part of his career.
By the way, I'm just going to give you a heads up because I'm kind of a Cowboys fan.
Yes, kind of. Oh, you're kind of.
No, I'm mad at them right now because
Okay.
I thought their pick yesterday was stupid. They're probably going to piss me off here again at 2 picks because
because they just
do.
will. Well, what would they do that wouldn't piss you off?
It's take a receiver.
Okay.
Because
They've got plenty of possibilities.
But the other thing, so I don't know if you've heard Joe and I kind of did this thing where I was going to select a new team, because the Titans have irritated me and the Cowboys have irritated me. So if I do select a new team, I'm going to be a Bucs fan.
Okay.
In Baker we trust.
Okay.
So that's where we are right now.
I could be a Bucs fan if they go back to the creamsicle jerseys.
Oh, those are great.
Just do that.
Well, and the other thing too is, so by the way, did you see that? And here finally they've announced Mason Taylor. Did you see that Warren Moon apparently accidentally broke some news that the Titans are changing uniforms, I guess, next year or something like
that. I believe, was that Sam Phelan who was
I mean, everybody
was talking about it? Yeah, okay.
Because I guess he was in like a media scrum with them. And they asked about, because he made a comment of, I hope they don't wear the Oilers again. And then he said, well, they're getting new uniforms and they're going to look a lot like the Oilers or something. And
yeah, no, I saw that and I'm like, so what does that mean exactly?
So I'm sure everybody there was like, damn it, Warren.
Right. Yeah. Thanks for coming, Warren.
Yeah, thanks for.
Can you leave now?
Yeah.
Stop talking to the reporters, Warren. Yeah, what does that mean? So they're not going to do the throwbacks, which I think is a shame because I love the throwbacks.
If I were running things, Jared likes to say if I own the team, if I were running the NFL, if I was Roger Goodell, I would make, because they'd make so much money on it, make a throwback weekend. Do a true throwback weekend. NASCAR does it, and they still do it, even though it's kind of jumped the shark, because they make so much money on it, because people buy the cars and all that. Make a throwback weekend where everybody wears throwbacks.
Okay. I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. Now, I do kind of, though, I like the Titans being able to say, you know what, we're going to troll the Texans this weekend. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I kind of like a little freedom, but I think one weekend of that would be cool.
I think it'd be great. And you have everyone do a home and road version, and 1 year they're home, 1 year they're road.
By the way, NFL memes, after Buffalo Bill said, yeah, we got our guy, TJ Sanders, NFL meme says, damn, Shedeur wasn't even the first Sanders taken in this draft.
That's pretty good. All right, the 49ers are in Julian Peterson, who is the 16th overall selection in 2000.
That's my guy. Covered him in college. Great dude.
Alfred Collins from Texas, the defensive tackle.
Texas.
They needed help there.
Texas and defensive tackles, I tell you what. Ranked 68th on the Brugler big board here. So, again, we got 68, 70, 60 have gone off, and we're here, in the 40s. But, again, that kind of speaks to it's just not that surprising based on what we've heard about the draft.
So that puts the Dallas Cowboys.
There you go. It's time. It's go time. Oh, and by the way, speaking of go time, look at those potato kegs. My
Tater
gosh.
kegs, yeah.
Tater kegs.
You're gonna have to try these. They are my favorite.
Care if I talk with my mouth full?
I mean, go ahead. I mean, I don't care.
Okay, I'm trying one. I'm going in, man.
Well, you do that. I'll say we're live here at Boombah's in East Nashville. Boombah's Pizza and Watch Bar here in East Nashville. Come by and see us. Got a great crowd that is here. Joe is trying the tater kegs.
Dude.
He's a fan. I said earlier, I was like, have you ever had, because you said you haven't had their pizza either, right?
No.
Their pizza is fantastic. And I said earlier,
sheltered.
You will love the tater kegs. And you're like, what are they? I'm like, do you like tater tots? Because they're tater tots on steroids with cheese and stuff.
You know what I love about these is it's a huge tater tot, but it's full of potato inside. It's almost like the inside of a baked potato. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. That's perfect way to describe it. Oh, it's fantastic.
I just tapped the keg.
Yes, you did. So you can come get those at any of the Boombahs, but especially this one in East Nashville, where we're hanging out tonight. Chase McCabe, Joe Rexroad with you. Presented by Hardee's, Shane Company, Parman Tractor and Equipment, Professional Home Improvements, Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. And Shane Company, you can find the perfect gift for mom this Mother's Day. Help your mom shine in style with the perfect gift picked just for her. And Parman Tractor and Equipment, providing totally outrageous customer service. Visit parmantractor.com. We pause 10 seconds for station identification here on the Game Nashville Sports Network. Sports Talk, 8:30 a.m.
Yeah. 6 Buckeyes in the top 40.
Chase McCabe and Joe Rexroad. Chasing medium-sized Joe, is that what this is today?
I'm sorry, what?
Chasing medium-sized Joe instead of chasing Big Joe?
Oh, are you sure? I mean, if Big Joe and I had a boxing match, we did a weigh-in. I'm not sure who would come on. Especially, give me a few more of these tater kegs, and I might be, bigger Joe. Chasing bigger Joe?
Chasing bigger, that something like that. People think I'm
depressing.
Big Joe. I mean, I'm not exactly small, so that.
This is a beefy show tonight.
It is a beefy show. We have a lot of people here hanging out, including Sean Ford, our general manager.
Did your boys just take Sanders?
Wait, what?
No way. Please tell me that's true.
Oh my God.
No, they didn't. No.
Oh my God.
Ezeraku.
Okay.
God, that would have been amazing.
Don't scare me like
you
that,
almost
Sean.
made the show, man.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's Ezeraku. What do you think about Ezeraku? Are you okay
I like
with that?
No, I love that.
Okay.
I hate it for the Titans, but I love that for the
Sean
Cowboys.
Ford gave you a mini heart attack, but now you got a good edge. Was he seriously just trolling you?
I
He
guess.
just trolling you?
Yeah. I mean,
You got me all excited.
I almost said bad words on the. And this is a family restaurant.
Remember,
there's children here,
Just
including yours.
Remember, Hubert Davis has a replacement word. Use the Hubert Davis replacement word.
For the F-bomb?
Yeah.
What is it?
Fart.
Oh, okay. Oh,
He
yeah.
does not swear.
Yeah.
He does not use profanity with his team.
I love
He
that.
replaces it, So that's what I do sometimes on our show. And Robbie thinks I'm about to do something that's going to get us an FCC violation, and I thank Hubert Davis for the replacement. Ezeraku, 22nd on the board, going here at 44.
I don't
Twice
hate that.
as long as he was supposed to laugh. That's a pretty good. And
Jerry, you did. Congratulations. Let's give it up for Jerry Jones.
all right,
Doing something
There's
smart.
Jerry.
There we go, Jerry. Oh, look at him.
he's
He's like, he saw Ez. He goes, I want him. I love how Jerry does that. I want him.
I like that
want
too.
him.
I want him.
Steven, I want him.
Trey Lance.
So people ask me, like, why are you a Cowboys fan? So I grew up in Nashville before the Titans got here.
Mm-hmm.
They were on TV all the time. But the big thing for me
Oh, yeah.
was
TV team.
I have a ton of family in the Dallas-Fort Worth area
Okay.
that were all Cowboys fans.
So it's a little bit more of a than just
It was
being
more
a
that and
America's
my-
team fan.
Yeah, my grandfather, my dad's father that I never met was a Cowboys fan because he loved Tom Landry, and my dad would always talk about that. So that had a lot to do with it. Dad was a Raiders fan, and I think I was scared of the Raiders
Commitment to excellence, Chase.
because he used to always be like, back in the day with Madden, the offensive line got out on work release.
They had guys like Lester Hayes just clotheslining people
Jack
out there.
Tatum.
Oh yeah, my goodness.
So Donovan
Kenny the Snake
Ezeraku, the
Stabler.
edge rusher from Boston College, goes to Dallas. So does that mean Indy here?
It is the Colts. We've got the Colts on the clock at number 45. So we're inching toward the Titans pick. And again, I mean, we finally have the
I'm gonna
edge,
eat one of
one
these.
of these edges here, but a ton of edges still out there. And it's been we've had a pause in the receivers too since Burden went to the Bears. We've had Higgins and Burden of the receivers go, but there's still a lot of those. So again, those two obvious positions we've been talking about forever with the Titans. There's enough picks between now and them that I suppose a huge run on both could happen, but
Yeah.
probably not. Like they're probably going to have
Probably not.
probably not.
I'm satisfied with picking at 52, and then will they get 89?
82,
82,
right?
52
Yeah,
and 82.
52 and 82. Yeah.
Like, I'm cool with that if that's what they do. Again, if they get closer to 52, and it's like, all right, well, maybe somebody's calling, do you add more?
I mean, look, if it's all the same to you and you've got a handful of guys similar on your board, and yeah, sure.
I'm not double dipping, by the way. I'm doing.
Yeah, that's fine. Believe me, I'm watching. I'm watching. So we got what? We got a cheese sauce. We got a ranch. Is that what we're looking at here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm starting to get concerned for Shador here. Let's see. You got the Raiders at 48 coming up. Now, some people have talked about the Rams. Do the Rams want to, get an understudy? So that's.
I really
couple
thought the
teams here.
Jets. I really thought the Jets could do something.
Yeah. So that's a couple teams coming up that could think about it, but boy, then you start looking and it's like, well, what do you think about the third round, Shador?
Maybe. Teron just tweeted, wonder if the run on edge defender starts now that the Cowboys are taking Ezeraku at 44.
Yeah, it could be. That's how it goes. Sometimes.
The Indianapolis Colts, who's this making the selection? Jonathan Taylor.
Okay.
Okay.
Makes sense.
So he's there to make the selection. And with the 45th pick in the NFL draft,
I think Jonathan Taylor's going to talk for a few minutes.
he's going to talk.
You want me to tell you? Ooh, man, I like this pick.
Yeah, tell me.
JT Tuimalwa God, I'm so bad. I'm so bad with
I
so
know.
many names. JTT from the edge rusher from the Buckeye, just a playmaker.
From Ohio State.
You're
So
talking
here
about
comes the run on the edge rushers.
the run on the edge rushers is underway, which is maybe not great
But
for
it's
the Titans.
but look, I'm okay with it. I mean, obviously they need to address it if they can get a wide receiver. If they can get a receiver at 52 or even one of the tight ends, like I'm not going to hate that.
By the way, that's the Buckeyes, much made of a $20 million team. That's 7 of the first 45 picks, Ohio State Buckeyes. And there's more coming. And maybe there's, at some point, what about the other guy for the Buckeyes, who I like, Jack Sawyer. Would have much preferred this guy, who's a playmaker. You're talking about 12 and a half sacks, 21 and a half tackles for loss this last year. He's like the opposite of, Shamar Stewart in terms of, like maybe not all the measurables, but the production absolutely there. Boy, I liked what the Colts have done. I'm sorry. Indy Ben, I'm sure, is somewhere on our text line gloating right now, but I like what the Colts have done so far. Chris Ballard, someone will vote Chris Ballard best GM in the league. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, let's see. I can check if Indy Ben is listening or watching right now. You can text in.
He made sure to gloat.
You can definitely text in 615-737-1025. And also, we got the YouTube chat going here as well. Ian's in the YouTube chat. What's up, Ian? Ian Safar.
Ian.
How about Ian? There are
Ian's
some few texts
working.
coming in here. Joel says Shador will go to the Raiders at 48. It's so obvious now.
Okay. Could be. He better hope so.
Matt was mad at us when we were having technical issues.
Boy, Matt was really mad, huh?
Yeah.
Made some people mad.
We did. Sorry.
Apologies. All is
Technical
well.
stuff.
We have tater kegs now.
Yeah, we're good now.
Everything's good. Everything's fine.
We are good.
So the run on edges, if that's what we're looking at here, Landon Jackson, guy I like a lot, bigger edge out of Arkansas. He's sitting there right now. Obviously, again, the Mike Green thing is, man. The Mike Green thing is,
Yeah,
there's
that could,
that could be really a plummet, And again, there's some stuff out there that's like that. Have no idea, it's just rumor stuff, so it's not to be repeated. But obviously, you're talking about a clear first-round talent who's sitting there right now.
Albert Breer put this out there. 7 of the first 45 picks from the national champion Buckeyes.
I just said that.
Did you say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay. You were looking at your tater kegs. I
was.
I understand.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
That's one. By the way, Adam Vingan's here too. He's out on the playground with Arlo.
Yeah.
So we got a few celebs in the house.
We've got some 102.5, 106.3 The Game kids in the house tonight.
We do.
It's a great place.
Harrison Ford over there hanging out.
Nice.
He's waiting on some Georgia Bulldogs to get drafted again.
Well, that'll happen.
That'll happen. There's a few still out there. In fact, I was going to ask you about this. I'm glad I reminded myself of that. Now, I don't think it would be the sexy pick and people would complain about it. Jared. What if they took the center, Jared Wilson, with one of these picks? Is he on?
You say the Titans?
Yeah.
Well, he
could he slide to guard? They need a guard.
Yeah. Obviously from a need perspective, you're like, man, so what are you going to do at receiver or edge, But, it's one of those things where if you absolutely love the player, then you go with what you evaluate.
I can't be okay with Tyler Lockett being your answer at receiver.
Yeah.
I can't be okay with that. Now, and I can't be okay with, we took somebody in the 4th or the 5th or, like one of these two picks.
You would think. Yeah, you would think. It's center, obviously. You've got an Achilles injury. You're going to have to, cushion bear. You have to wait that out. Hey, all right. How was the playground? Thumbs up, Arlo.
We had a good time.
Okay.
Very nice.
Speaking of fandom, we just have to make sure Vingan doesn't make Arlo be a Duke basketball fan. We really got to work on that.
Too late.
At least go with the Tar Heels, Arlo.
All right, the Rams are clapping. They seem to like what they've done here.
I thought the Rams hated picks.
I know they don't ever pick.
Fart them picks.
Fart
See,
them
it works,
picks.
man.
It does work.
See. Let me see if I can scoop the broadcast on the Rams.
Real quick, let me read this on Mason Taylor. Nick Saban said this on College Game Day, quote,
Okay.
"This is the biggest recruiting mistake we ever made. This guy is the best tight end we had in camp."
Wow. Okay. By the way, Rams, Oregon tight end Terrence Ferguson. So we got a little tight end.
So Arroyo's still on
Arroyo's
the
sitting
board.
there. Terrence Ferguson here, on the Brugler Big Board, 75. Arroyo at 41, still sitting there. And we're getting close to the Titans pick.
I wonder what the deal is. Is he telling? Is his agent telling teams like, "Hey, I don't want to play for you. I want to go play with Cam"? Like, are they putting that out there into the ether?
Maybe. Who's doing the Ram? Who we got?
Who,
Michael Brockers.
Brockers,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
So Arizona's next. I kind of buy into Shador to the Raiders, unless somebody. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to trade up. But other than that, like if he doesn't go to the Raiders, I don't know where.
It could be a long night. They're like, no more showing the party, please.
Say what?
Matt is still mad at us.
Okay. I'll figure that out. Sorry, Matt.
So Terrence Ferguson, you're sitting here now. You are sitting here with Cardinals, Raiders, Bengals, Seahawks, Broncos before the Titans pick. Jalen Knoll. I mean, a lot of receivers, man.
Look,
A lot of receivers right now.
Again, right now, Jared might be crashing out. Who knows? But, like, right now, I'm cool with this. I'm cool with everything. Like, there's some good talent available.
Yeah, I mean, on the edge, you still have Jordan Birch from Oregon. You still have, again, Jack Sawyer, Nick Skirton from Texas A&M. So, you've got – and, again, I'm a fan of Landon Jackson. I'm a fan of Landon Jackson. Not saying he's going to be the same kind of player, but, like, there's a little bit of maybe like Danico Autry kind of versatility there. Physicality, but an edge player.
What is Arizona?
They need everything.
This could be Will Johnson. I mean, they need edge, they need receiver, they need corner, they need guard. I mean, they could definitely get a good player here.
There you go. Good call by you.
Will Johnson?
It is Will Johnson.
There you go.
I mean, again, that could be a tremendous – and again, we said this, we said this when the Titans got Caleb Farley.
They sent Patrick Peterson out to make the announcement.
Okay, well, that's fitting. It could be a value. We said that when the Titans picked Farley. Wow, this could be an incredible value. Another John Robinson, like Jeff Simmons type thing, and it could be a disaster. Man, that's it.
It just depends on what it is.
It's certainly.
But I like that pick for them.
A mysterious-ish knee injury is not, sciatica, right? So I mean. He's a really good football player.
Yeah, and everybody seems to love this pick too.
Yeah, I mean he's a heck of a football player. I mean, some people thought he was a better corner in this class than Travis Hunter. I would, kindly disagree with that one, but he's very good.
So, where do you think with Hunter? Do you think he's going to have to pick eventually? Like they'll try this for a year or two, but eventually he's going to have to settle in. So it was like Devin Hester, right? Devin Hester was one of those that didn't he start as a receiver and then moved to corner, and then obviously was a returner.
Hey, real quick, Texans just took the Raiders' spot at 48. Texans traded into 48.
Oh yeah.
I don't think that's to get Shador.
No.
So he's going to wait a little bit longer. But yeah, to your point on Hunter, man, it's going to be really interesting. I think he's definitely good enough. He's good enough to. I think he's good enough to be. Again, I think he's going to be an all-time great, like a great cornerback. I think he just has special instincts, change of direction, all that, catch-up speed, ball skills. I think he could be a really good receiver. Can you actually? I just don't. I feel like you expose yourself to injury that much in this league, you're going to get injured, right?
Yeah.
That's my whole thing. Is like, obviously his endurance is off the charts, and what he's done already tells you like he's already done things that most people couldn't even think about doing. But in this league, if you were out for that many plays on that field, how do you avoid injury? That's my whole thing. So I just think he's a starting cornerback, a great cornerback, and you do enough on offense to keep him involved, get him in, do some things for him, which is, like Woodson and some of these other guys, Champ Bailey, maybe more than those guys. But I just can't. I don't know how you could be full time and do that in this league on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I mean, that's why I think he's going to have to make a decision.
But right now he's, bullish on, no, I'm doing both, and that's fine. Okay.
Which is fine. Try it. I mean,
So here's one of the higher prospects still left on the board, Ariante Ursery, offensive tackle out of Minnesota, going to the Texans. So they moved into that spot to bolster their offensive line, which they absolutely need to do. So where did the Raiders fall back to now? So the Raiders.
Yeah, I've been looking for.
The Raiders fell back to, they went from 48 to 58.
And then Raiders also got 99.
Okay.
So the Raiders get 58 and 99. So you said the Texans are taking who?
Ariante Ursery, offensive tackle out of Minnesota.
Yeah,
Golden Gopher.
Yeah, they had to address.
Yes. So, and we had Brugler had him 37. So, the highest prospect still available right now, obviously Mike Green, and then Shedeur Sanders. Mike Green at 10, Shedeur Sanders at 34.
So what? He has Sanders at 34.
Yeah. And he may be. I mean, is there any chance he goes before 58?
When I was talking about the center, Coy on our the chat said a center in Stillman's guard voice.
Center. Just say it like a pirate.
Jack's, who's it? Let's see. Dre says I'm down with Jack Sawyer.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Like him
a few
lot.
people have said him.
I like Jack. I would take Landon Jackson before Jack Sawyer. That's just me. Jack Sawyer is, sometimes he's a very good player, good college player. The testing, wasn't great. Like, does the try hard run out a little bit in the NFL? I mean, he's gonna make plays. I think he'll be a good player. I think Landon Jackson is, a real physical presence.
I don't hate it. Again, I think the Titans are in a position, and we're a few picks away. Now scheduled to pick at 52. We're at 40. We just had 48. So the Bengals on the clock at 49. Then the Seahawks at 50. Broncos at 51. Titans at 52. So if you're Shedeur Sanders, the Raiders are back at 58. That's really all I see that's a possibility to them.
Yeah, look, I mean, there's always a chance somebody in there is like, at some point it's like, okay, well, we have him, whatever, 30-some in our board. That's a value. That's a developmental prospect. He's a backup for now. I mean, that could happen. But the Raiders would definitely make, more sense.
I mean,
a lot of people's made a lot of the Brady relationship, but,
Would Tampa consider it at 21 to sit behind Baker?
Remind me of who their backup is. I'm always so bad at who the backup quarterbacks are. I need like a constant website up of the backup quarterbacks in the NFL. Yeah, I mean, but that's not to me it's maybe.
I'm reaching. I'm just trying to
maybe a place with a little bit older QB, which is like the Geno.
I mean, that's why the Rams kind of make sense.
Yeah, the Rams kind of make sense. Like the Geno situation to me would be perfect. Pete Carroll.
So it's Baker, Kyle Trask, and Michael
That's
Pratt.
right. They still have
That's
Trask.
who they have on their roster.
And I don't really know. I don't know that Trask is is, I don't think Trask is ever going to be anything but a QB2 in this league.
Yeah.
So
I mean, right now, that's what Shador's looking at, is being a backup somewhere.
yeah. I
mean,
mean, I think at some point, I like his chances to get an opportunity. But yeah.
Robbie Stanley has entered the chat.
Uh-oh.
We love it.
Is this the YouTube chat?
Yeah.
And what is Robbie? Is he still crowing about?
You can read.
Matthew
You can
Golden?
read some of the chat coming through as well. Robbie just said TV prospect.
Shador is almost a black and
Coy
white TV prospect.
says the Titans will do the most Titan thing and not take an edge or a wide receiver. They'll take the center. I'm telling you, they're going to take the freaking offensive lineman from Georgia, Rick Merritt, Music City Bets in the house.
Oh, look at Ricky.
They're going to do that, and again,
that's a small shirt, Ricky.
Won't hate it. You want some
I'm calling
tater
out
kegs?
Ricky immediately. We got tater kegs right here. Tater kegs.
I don't know. I'm just ready for them to get there so we can then talk about it.
We're close. We're close. The Bengals are on the clock.
Josh says, let's take a kicker.
There you go.
Jared Jewell says, Sawyer or bust.
Okay. Man, I don't know, man. I really – Landon Jackson's sitting there. So, by the way, Trey Amos has not been taken, right?
No, he's still there.
Jared's scribblings on this page make no sense. Like, he checked off some people who weren't taken. Why?
I don't know. I've just learned not to try and get inside that brain. It's better for all of us.
It's probably better that way.
All right, so the Bengals, their pick is in. You mentioned Ursary going, the offensive tackle from Minnesota, going to Houston. And now the Bengals will make their selection.
And that is linebacker Demetrius Knight.
From South Carolina?
Is that another South Carolina defender?
They've had a few. I think he's from South Carolina.
I'm coming up empty here. Demetrius Knight.
Well, it is finally being announced.
So, again, you've got linebacker, tackle,
Yeah,
quarterback,
South Carolina.
tight end. There you go. Yeah, pretty good job of, speaking of Robbie, he can't stand Shane Beamer. Like, he has kind of an unhealthy obsession with Shane Beamer. Guys,
This is what the
YouTube
YouTube chat has become now. Because Robbie entered. Now everybody's like, who are the Preds drafting? They're talking about it now. Oh, man. Thanks, Robbie. Appreciate it. Robbie says Shane Beamer, bum.
There you go. Pretty good team, Robbie. Pretty good team.
Yeah, I don't.
Why am I
know
not
if I'd go
finding?
bum.
Yeah, I'm not finding Demetrius in our top 100. Am I missing this? Is he? Outside of the top 100.
I thought
pick?
I saw him later in some mocks, like third round.
Okay, well there you go. So yeah, outside of our top 100. So that's the first. I mean, that's the first one. That's definitely the first outside top 100 pick. And again, it all. I mean, you look at what's going on in this draft, and again, it kind of keeps coming back to what people have been saying about, take 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and there's just not much difference.
I mean, that's honestly where I'm at right now with it. That there's not much difference. So
nothing is that big of a surprise.
I'd make the pick, but if somebody offered you more, and remember they got 2 4th-rounders too. So if they like something, now that they're in the third round, they could maybe do some maneuvering there too.
Bengals badly need to improve their defense, and obviously, Shamar Stewart. I mean, that's the look.
I hate it. I did not like that pick. For them.
Everybody's panning that pick, and I totally get it.
Do you like that pick, Rick? What the Bengals did last night? Shamar Stewart.
Shamar Stewart, Texas A&M.
Yeah. He has no idea.
I thought you loved the Bengals.
He said
what,
yes.
You're not
okay.
a Bengals fan? What? Do you think Boomer Esiason's still their quarterback?
Achilles Smith.
That was a good pick. Yeah. I mean, Shamar Stewart, like Burgo had him 9. He had him as the number 9 prospect. You know,
Number 9.
Number 9.
Number 9.
9 times. Well, you know, sometimes that works out. You know, production isn't there, but it's close, and the player is like the measurables are going to translate, and you know.
Robbie says Landon Jackson's who he would be happy with.
I agree. I mean, if the Titans can grab Landon Jackson here at 52, you got the Seahawks, you got the Broncos. Between you and that, or again, you mentioned Arroyo, that would be the little bit of a curveball, but good player. Jalen Knoll from Iowa State, another, the other Iowa State receiver. Jalen Royals, Utah State.
I like Royals.
But I think Harris. There's a lot. There's a lot of receivers.
I think some receivers could be there. You might have to move up.
Move up from 82.
Yeah.
Okay, someone just jumped into 51 in front of the Titans.
The Panthers.
The Panthers just jumped into 51 in front of the Titans.
Who do they like?
So
they need. I mean,
they've been addressing offense so far.
They need everything.
I mean, are the Panthers going to go in there and get Landon Jackson one pick before the Titans do?
God, if they do.
Those crafty Panthers.
All right. Do you have the Seattle pick yet?
I'm trying. I'm efforting the. Yeah, so the Broncos 51 to Carolina. Still not seeing what Seattle's done yet.
Yeah, see if I can get the terms on that trade.
Yeah, here we go. Broncos. They trade 51, 84, 122, and 208. Panthers trade back 57, 74, 111, 230. So essentially, there's a lot of swapping there. But look at that. Seattle, tight end Elijah Arroyo.
There we go.
To the Seattle
Spoke him
Seahawks.
up.
And the Panthers did not go in to get Landon Jackson, but they did go get an edge, Nick Skirton from Texas A&M, who's a good player.
That's who the Panthers got?
That's who the Panthers got. So Panthers with Skirton, and the Titans are, I believe, on the clock.
Okay.
Titans on the clock.
All right.
So Landon Jackson's there. A lot of receivers are there.
I like
the Arroyo temptation is not there.
That's okay, but I mean, there's good options here at 52. Don't upset me, Titans.
Yeah, so Jack Sawyer, some people big on Jack Sawyer. I get it. Jordan Birch is a really good player from Oregon. Another edge. That's right there. Again, Landon Jackson. I would vote for Landon Jackson right now.
I think I'm with you on that. Is Sawyer considered an edge or more of a true defensive end? It's changed so much. It's changed so much now.
Yeah, I mean he doesn't have the length of some of these guys, but I think you can move him around. Yeah, that's the thing. Everybody's just called an edge now.
Yeah.
It's like people don't even really talk in terms of 4-3-3-4 anymore. I mean, it's all like a 3-4
hybrid. I'll never forget
multiple.
I'll never forget when Vrabel got hired. He talked to all of us like we were idiots, asking like his defensive philosophy. And he's like, it'll be multiple. And it's like, what does that mean?
He loved to talk to us like we were idiots, didn't he?
Is he doing that to New England?
Oh, I'm sure.
By the way,
golf clapping at Celtics games.
I do. I think I've decided that I want to put a GoFundMe together to send Jared up to a press conference one day, and one of us too, just to see the look on Vrabel's face when he walks out there. And like if you and Jared were sitting in the front row, that would be so fantastic.
Dude, I'm all the way here for that. Get a little clam chowder. Yeah, I always make it about food. Get some clam chowder. Yeah.
Like
doing stuff with your hands.
He would just he would look at you guys and go, "What the fart? What are you guys doing here?"
For fart's sake.
So the pick is in for Carolina, which we already know who they've taken.
Someone mentioned another possibility. What about Xavier Watts? Another good safety out there for Notre Dame. He's in the range right now.
Yep.
So they haven't even they haven't even announced the. I hope that Connor Hughes is correct with that. I'm counting on Connor Hughes on the skirting info. So if so, Connor Hughes destroyed everybody on this one. I don't know who.
Well, Chuba's telling you right now.
Yeah. Is that what that is? Yep, there it is.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. So there you go. Now officially, Titans are on the clock.
See how quick this is. He kind of slowed down for a second, and now it's kind of picking back up again. So the two-tone, the Titans contingent is figuring it out.
Yeah. What if? I mean, I think the highest, other than of course Mike Green, who at this point teams apparently think he's radioactive. But if you took him out of the equation, the highest rated Brugler prospect left is, well, other than Shador, is Trey Amos, the corner out of Ole Miss. Titans.
What about Trey?
Trey Harris, the
Trey
other
Harris,
Ole Miss receiver, sure. An Ole Miss Trey. One of the Ole Miss Treys.
They're going to take Jared Wilson.
That would be amazing. If they do, we might need to
We'll have to
get
call.
Stillman
I'm going to tell.
so he can just melt down for us over the phone.
I mean, they could go corner. Definitely could go corner with Amos or Ravel.
Wait a minute. Okay, what's happening here?
They trade again?
I thought someone is trying to say. Yeah, no, they're still mulling. They're still mulling. Oh, I got it.
Yeah, say it.
Femi Oladejo. And I'm trying to find. He is an edge. And we talked about him earlier.
He was the
He's
UCLA.
a UCLA Bruin edge.
I saw him in a lot of mocks.
Oluwafemi.
Yeah.
But he goes by Femi Oladejo. So get used to the name. He is the Titans' answer at edge. So they liked him. You know, if you go by on the Brugler board here, you're talking 64th. So he had him, behind Jordan Birch from Oregon. He had him behind Landon Jackson from Arkansas, and of course behind Mike Green from Marshall. But I mean, at this point, is Mike Green from Marshall going to get picked? I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But there you go. The Titans have addressed edge. So Femi Oladejo, UCLA. So, UCLA gets Nico, but the Titans get Oladejo. How about that?
I don't hate it.
Got some highlights up there.
I don't hate it.
What else do we know about Femi Oladejo?
4.5. Well, had 4.5 sacks. That's what. Okay, that's what Jared's gonna complain about.
Oh, that will. That will.
You mean to tell me you got a sacker that doesn't get sacks? That's what he's gonna say.
By the way, tip of the cap to the late Floyd Reese, UCLA Bruins. So,
yeah. Amy Adams Strunk in the house as well. Tampa.
Amy's still there.
Yeah,
Okay.
They just showed her. She was in there. She was there today with when Cam got there as well. So
I'm efforting. I'm gonna get here. So like I said, Oladejo 64th. Now Brugler has him as edge 13. Okay, so down the list a bit. Obviously UCLA.
let's see if
not great.
If
You're
Jared has
talking-
tweeted.
Wingspan 82 and an eighth. By the way, he's 21 years old. 6'3", 261.
What did
What
I
do
tell
we-
you?
what do
What
we
did
have
I
from
tell you
Jared?
he was going to complain about?
The sack number.
Jared Stillman on Twitter, not a fan of this pick. They need a sacker, not an edge setter.
There you go. So, reading through some of this, stand-up edge rusher role. He moved into this year, 2-point stance. He did play Mike linebacker at Cal too. So he's a now that is one thing you could look at it two ways, right? You could look at it like, okay, so this is like this is like an inside linebacker. They're moving around, but also you could look at that as, okay, so he's kind of early in the learning curve at edge, right? If you want to spin it that way. He did have 13.5 tackles for loss last year too.
Our YouTube chat, so Jared is going to crush this. They took a 4-sack guy, SMH. Josh says, who?
We did mention before the broadcast, Oladejo is one of the possibilities. And he's down the list a little bit. Strengths. Let me give you some Brugler strengths. Straight out of central casting, physique and body type. Power with his hands. You like to hear that from an edge. Smart and physical. Comfortable rushing from different angles. Teammates rave about his effort and energy. Okay, weakness. Doesn't have a deep bag of rush/counter moves. Doesn't consistently flatten, will be pushed past the pocket. Needs to develop more of a pass rush plan to keep blockers guessing. Late to react to running back routes. Too many undisciplined moments on tape. So plenty to nitpick here.
Yeah. Again, I think.
And all that said, he's starting. Game one.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
again,
this defense,
I look at it as I don't love it. I don't hate it.
Yeah, it's not exciting, just because of the production is not great. It'll be interesting to hear what they say about him tonight. It's again 21 years old, just started playing edge. Again, he was sort of like the Mike calling the defense, and they said, let's try you here. And he does. Again, the dimensions are there, 6'3", 261. So
let's recap.
You'd like to see more production.
Because a few of you have asked, the Titans just picked at 52. They traded 35 to Seattle and acquired pick 52, pick 82. So they did move into the third round. They moved later into the second round and just selected at 52 and are now scheduled to pick again at 82. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Coy asks, what is Chad Brinker doing? Josh says, so are Simmons, Sweat, and this new guy going to get any sacks this year? What's the over-under, 7 or 8 combined? That's a good question.
0.5 is my over-under.
What did they get?
Sacks this year.
What did the defense get last year?
We probably should have. We should have. I don't know off the top of my head, but not a lot. They struggled in just about every key area you can struggle in when it comes to football.
I still can't believe that they had a 1,000-yard rusher and a 1,000-yard receiver with as bad as that team was.
It doesn't seem that way. That just goes to show you in 17 games you can, scrape together some stats,
right,
and still not be very good.
So defense, 32 sacks.
Yeah, you'd like to, get to mid-40s.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, you've added 4.5 from this guy. I'm kind of with Jared on that.
It's not exciting, but it does address a need. And look, I mean, I'm surprised that Landon Jackson's sitting there. I'm surprised. I mean, I guess it's not crazy here compared to where he was ranked, but I sort of like him. So the Bucks have gone corner.
Yeah, Benjamin Morrison from Notre Dame.
Robbie's all excited. His Packers are up.
Oh, yes. By the way, we are live at Boom Ba's here in East Nashville, Pizza and Watch Bar. You can come by if you're listening on Sports Talk 830 or the Game Nashville app or watching on YouTube and X. Chase McCabe, Joe Rexroad, Draft Night in Nashville from Boom Ba's is presented by Hardee's, Shane Company, Parman Tractor and Equipment, Professional Home Improvements, and by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, being well represented over here as well. And we appreciate Music City Bets for being here as well. But come by and see us. We're having a good time and just breaking this thing down. The Titans will pick in the third round unless they decide to move around again. Looking at what's available, Joe, do you consider trying to maneuver back into the second round if you're the Titans?
Yeah, again, it's like we were just talking earlier about we get more picks, get more swings at it. You know, you're going to have misses. Everybody has misses, so give yourself more chances to have hits. I'd rather see them move from 82 to 86 and pick up another pick. You know, get a third, fourth rounder. You know,
yeah, because I mean, again, you have to value what's in the top 100.
Yeah,
but I mean,
again, these teams fall in love with someone. Look at all the teams all these teams trying to move back. So everybody's talking about everyone wants to move back. Makes sense, but that means there are teams moving up too. To Ursery to the Texans, getting the tackle that they wanted. You know. Who else moved up? Did the Colts move up for JTT? No,
I don't think they moved.
No, they didn't move up. But we've had, obviously you got some teams move. So yeah, if Titans love someone and they can. To me, it's like so much focus now on receiver, right?
Yeah. It has to be. And if you look at the receivers available, I mean, there's still some pretty good ones.
There are, but 29 picks from now, how many of those guys are going to be there?
Trey Harris, Jalen Knoll, Jack Beck, Jalen Royals, Kyle Williams, Jalen Lane from Virginia Tech. I forgot Isaiah Bond was in this draft.
Isaiah Bond, who I'm not a huge fan of, but he's there. Elik Ayamanor from Stanford is another guy in the top
Shamir
100 this one.
DK, from Florida. And I mean, the other thing, again, this is not at third. This would be tomorrow. Xavier Restrepo. I mean, try and grab him in the 5th or the 6th. I mean, again, I don't think that addresses your immediate need, but if they did that, I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah, no, I mean, people could probably overrate the whole played in college together, so it'll be awesome. But I think he's good, and I know he didn't run well, and so he's falling because he didn't run well. All right, the Packers, is Robbie okay? Is Robbie excited
Anthony
about this
Belton.
one? Anthony Belton, tackle out of NC State. What do you think, Robbie?
Robbie, what do you think? I don't know if he's
let
still.
Let us know in the YouTube chat. He is. So, here's a guy going where he went, and on the Brugler board, he's 94th. Anthony Belton from NC State.
Lance is saying, who cares about extra picks if the talent falls? If the talent sucks.
Well, yeah,
that's fair.
I understand what you're saying. Again, it's just if you evaluate receiver, if we go to here, like receiver, you mentioned Kyle Williams. Okay, so he's receiver 12 on this list, okay? The last guy in the top 100. But, if receiver 6 and receiver 12 are the same thing to you, that's where those extra picks can matter. But if you absolutely covet one of these guys, that's where maybe you do move up.
So Femi Oladejo, the outside linebacker, edge rusher from UCLA, is the Titans' second-round pick. And I'm definitely on our YouTube. Robbie has weighed in. Robbie Stanley says about his Packers pick, what in the absolute hell?
Well, Robbie doesn't think offensive line matters?
I think you need offensive line.
The Green Bay Packers, right? Have some pride. Student body left. You run the ball. Come on.
Top tier thinks that Kyle Williams goes before 82. Yeah.
I would agree too. I mean, look, I think absolutely there's a good chance that Chargers about to pick here.
Could they go receiver?
I mean, at some point they have to, right?
I would think so. By the way, well, here's the selection.
Harbaugh just loves
Melvin Gordon
ball.
given the pick, and the San Diego LA Superchargers select Trey Harris, wide receiver. Ole Miss.
There you go.
There you go.
I'm frankly a little surprised that Trey Harris of Ole Miss went before Trey Amos of Ole Miss.
Yeah. Well, I kind of think both have lasted longer than I thought they would.
Yeah.
Guy I was going to ask you about, if he's there, Gunnar Helm, the tight end from Texas. Do you like him?
Yeah, he's a good player. Very good player. I mean, I think about the game this year here in Nashville. He was fantastic in that game against Vanderbilt. Yeah, I think – like, to me, can they get – we talk about, like, the drop-off after, like, the 5th round now. So, can you get someone like that, like, around there? I wouldn't hate that at all.
We sit here – I mean, I think they need to address tight end. Do you think that?
Yeah.
Okay, so we agree that they need to address tight end. What's up, buddy? do they think they need to address tight end? Or does this staff truly believe in Chikakonkwo and Josh Wiley that they got something there? I don't see how they can think that.
I mean, obviously you got new GM, but yeah, I don't see how. Again, is it serviceable? Can you go forward and play this year and get a UDFA for depth and be okay? Yes. Is it the most urgent thing? No. But I think it's absolutely a place that you need to address. Here's another item from Brugler on Femi Oladejo, by the way. I'm just trying to trigger Jared.
Yeah.
Says, quote, too many undisciplined moments on tape, roughing penalty versus Washington, a taunting penalty on 4th down versus Nebraska, which gave Cornhuskers a fresh set of downs, led to a touchdown. So get the undisciplined stuff too. So throw that into the lack of sacks for people who want to nitpick him. I mean, look, it's not an exciting pick. I do think, he's got talent. He fits the bill physically. Teammates do rave about his effort and energy, and both show on tape. Just trying to balance it out, man.
Yeah. It's honestly, Joe, it's one of those, I'm going to have to see it. Again, I don't love it, I don't hate it. I'm going to have to see it and see what it is with him.
You're going to see a lot of it because they are so in need of help at edge that he is immediately a key player on this team. So, okay, so the Bears. Pick is in. Ozzie Trapillo, Boston College offensive tackle. Boy, Boston College got some guys for as bad as they were.
I know.
So the Bears continuing to
that's
hit the offense.
That's a Billy O, right? And Bill O'Brien.
It is.
Yeah.
It is Billy O, but I mean, he just got there,
Yeah.
Yeah, and they did get better this year. They showed some signs of life. Kind of faded late. Quarterback, I think, left, but.
So here's what's funny. Top tier on the YouTube chat says every minute that goes by, I dislike that pick even more. And you know what? I'm kind of with you. The more I sit here and think about it and read stuff, I'm just kind of like, it's not to the point where I'm going to freak out like Jared, where it's like you had all these great talented players there and you completely screwed it up, because I don't think they completely screwed it up, but
it's not exciting.
It's not exciting.
So
yeah, that's the best way.
And the interesting thing about this pick too is, and I have no idea but sometimes teams get an inkling on another team, right? Right. That's sometimes why teams move up. So the Panthers obviously moved up to get right in front of the Titans, and they took Nick Skirton from Texas A&M, who frankly I would have been more excited about if the Titans got him. I mean, again, I watched him a lot more too, though. You got to be sometimes it's just you watch SEC football, and I watched very little crappy UCLA football this year, right?
Yeah.
But was that the Titans' pick? Did they have some kind of information that the Titans were getting Skirton? We're going to get him so they can't get him. And the Titans
Which one?
Well,
Yeah,
Nick Skirton from Texas A&M.
Yeah.
And then the Titans are like, well, we'll settle for Oladejo. I have no idea.
Well,
they certainly won't tell us that.
Well, and look, what I'd love to know, and we'll never know this, but my thing is, don't settle. If your guy's not there, then he's not there. Try and trade out. Maybe they did. They tried to, and they couldn't trade out. I don't know, but. And I can't. I don't think that Morganzi and Brinker are very forthcoming yet. I mean, they kind of say a lot without saying anything. Callahan will tell you some stuff. They're not like Barry Trotz. It's like, here's the plan.
Callahan last night was great. He was much more just informative about Cam Ward. Lions have moved. The Lions have made a move up into 57.
Did they make a trade with Chicago?
They made a trade with the Broncos.
Oh.
So they made a trade with the Broncos, and now they're picking right here after the Bears.
So who do the Bears get?
The Bears got Ozzie Trapillo,
okay.
or Trapillo, I think it's Trapillo, from Boston College, offensive tackle. The Lions badly need. See, the Lions, you could make a case for receiver. You could make a case for edge for them. I wonder if they are looking at a Landon Jackson, trying to bolster that defense that was just atrocious by the end.
Oh, my goodness. Seth freaking Rollins is giving the Bears pick.
Oh, that's your
I'm a
guy.
fan
Well, he
of
was on
this.
Good Morning Football today.
Yeah.
Was Ricky excited? Pro wrestling? Are you okay with that? I know you don't like football.
You like pro wrestling. I like this. All right. Very nice. Surprised I didn't get Punk to do it. I thought it had to be former players. So Keith Bullock gave the Titans pick, by the way.
Awesome. Perfect. Okay. I'm getting different analysis here.
Okay.
JT Runke, Hot Read Pod. I like his stuff. He says he loves the pick, Oladejo. Only 21, started playing edge after week 3 of this last season. So again, that's what they're going to talk about, right? He just started playing edge. Look at what he did in that short period of time. The ceiling is high. That's what we're going to hear tonight.
So I guess Femi is talking right now.
Yes.
Terry McCormick just tweeted, said he you said he just started playing it, so you didn't really. He knows the system because it's similar.
Yeah, he said he knows Bernard Wilson's system.
Yeah.
Speed to power needs to develop. Yeah, again, like Brugler said, got to develop. I mean, from
Okay.
that perspective,
All right.
if you just started playing edge, you didn't have the production, but now it's like this is actually your spot, and you were able to go in the second round as an edge. What does that mean? I think the Titans are going to say there's a whole bunch more for him out there to develop, whereas some of these other guys, this is what they are, right?
Oh, we got people
trying to get people excited. Get excited, people.
People are arguing in our YouTube chat. So
what do you got?
Robbie says, looking forward to the Titans taking Shador in the 6th. Hey, why not?
At that point, would he be a telegraph prospect?
Yeah, at that point.
Morse code prospect?
Put a big card.
Shakespeare theater prospect?
Did you see, by the way, did you see the memes that say Deion Sanders announces that Shiloh is now his new favorite son?
Retiring his number now? Shiloh get his number retired?
Josh says, are we already making excuses? Oh, it begins.
Yes.
The ebbs and flows
it's not
of being
excuses.
a Titans fan.
You're trying to explain what they saw in him. Again, it's like, okay, so first of all, just to be clear, so the Titans took him at 52. On this, on Brugler's board, he was 64, okay? So it's not like it's some insane reach out of nowhere. It's just I'm befuddled by Landon Jackson said their Lions took an offensive guard, by the way. So
who they take?
Get excited. They took a Georgia guard named Tate Ratledge.
A
so
team
there you go.
that will not yield.
That's right.
On the
a
clock
mighty
now.
Team that will not yield.
On the clock now, the Raiders.
Here we go. Is it finally time?
Do we want to
No,
see?
it is not finally time. It's wide receiver Jack back to the Raiders. My goodness. Oh, boy.
Shador's not getting drafted
Holy
in this round.
Cow.
Unless a team trades up for him,
Yeah,
but I don't see that.
Yeah, I mean, jeez.
How the mighty have fallen.
Amazing, man.
All right, we are live at Boom Baz here in East Nashville. It is draft night in Nashville. Presented by Hardee's, Shane Company, Parman Tractor and Equipment, Professional Home Improvements, Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. And we're going to step away here for a few minutes. We'll kind of reset. The Titans will pick again in the 3rd round. He is Joe Rexford. I'm Chase McCabe, and you're listening to the Game Nashville Sports Network and Sports Talk 830 a.m. Chase McCabe, Joe Rexroad with you. And we are running through the second round here at Boom Baz. And Joe, the Titans, I guess the media has been talking to their newest edge rusher and kind of getting to know him a little bit better. I'm very up and down on this. I think a lot of people are. Just kind of it's a roller coaster ride of how we feel about it.
Well, at least it's a roller coaster ride. We were going, all downhill, and then we found some, I mean, it's an interesting. And obviously, I think Callahan, Borgonzi will probably talk, at the end of the night. But it's an interesting, just starting out as an edge, so the production isn't there. Does that mean that there's a whole wide world of him being a dominant NFL edge? Or, is it kind of, you could flip it around and say, well, why is this guy a Mike and all of a sudden then he becomes an edge? But obviously, athletically, I mean, again, he went close to where he was ranked as a prospect for, so he was ranked there for a reason, right?
Right.
Again.
Apparently he knows Tyler Lockett, as Paul Kuharsky just tweeted that out. So
okay.
That's good. That's good to know.
And
they
again,
know each other.
Play
different positions, but they know each other.
Like everybody paying the Shamar Stewart pick, and I get it, and they may be right, and it may be as simple as if you don't get sacks in college, you're not getting sacks in the NFL. But he was also, some people thought he was a top 10 prospect, including Dane Brugler, because of his traits. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. So let's recap what has happened here in the last few picks. Is again, we're in the second round, pick 27 with Baltimore, and that pick is in. So Trey Harris, the wide receiver from Ole Miss, goes to the Chargers. Ozzie Trapillo, the offensive tackle from Boston College, goes to the Bears. Tate Ratledge, the guard from Georgia, goes to the Lions. And then Jack Beck, the receiver from TCU, goes to the Raiders.
And
that's
now,
where we're at right now.
And now we're looking at, I believe, the Ravens on the clock here.
Yes, they are. And the pick is in, according to the TV.
And to me, the Ravens are, I feel like every year the Ravens, every draft pick, I'm like, man, that was really smart. Freaking Ravens, man. They're just freaking smart. Do you agree with me, Ricky? No, he's not going to agree with me.
What's who's their
Ozzie,
GM now?
Ozzie Newsome.
I know, but who's the GM now?
Oh gosh, it's
DaCosta, Eric DaCosta. Yeah,
exactly, DaCosta. So they are next. Then the rest of the second round is Broncos, Commanders, Bears again. The Bears again. Then Chiefs and Eagles. Then we get to the third round.
Sorry, making sure
Corked
our
bats.
stream's working here.
Cork-
Oh, what is corked bats at?
Shedeur Sanders officially been in the green room longer than he was at Colorado. Oh, the memes and the jokes, man. Are they going to flow now?
Pretty good.
Stilly must be so excited.
I know. And, like, I talked about that. We talked about that this morning, that, like, I don't want to actively pull for a guy to fail. But,
Yeah. Good. Yeah, don't be that guy.
you know, at the same time, it's just like, well,
I mean, people are going to make jokes if they're funny. It's okay to, you know. Right.
I mean, if the report's true that he goes into interviews and, like, he made people late and, you know, was basically a D-bag, then, you know.
Yeah, no, look, I do think, I actually think, I heard Jared talking about this, and I think there's probably some truth to, he had an inflated view of his standing, and he probably, if he could go back, would probably handle some interviews differently than he did in Indy, you know, where it's like, you know, there are quarterbacks who know they're going to the top of the draft, and it's like, yeah, okay, we can talk, but, like, I know I'm going at 1 or 2 or whatever, and I think he maybe thought that. And so maybe he heard himself. But that's why you just do everything the right way all the time, like
Right.
you do.
Yeah.
In your life.
Well,
you
most
know,
of the time.
And then things work out.
I
for
have
you.
Ricky to make sure I stay on.
Ricky, your life coach.
Yeah, he is my life coach.
You're each other's life coach.
According to Jim Wyatt, when he did his draft thing, I'm his sidekick. So
You're a sidekick.
a bodyguard. Yeah.
Bodyguard.
Oh, he's Ricky's my bodyguard.
Gotcha. There you
That's
go.
what it is.
So the Ravens announcing this is interesting to come to. By the way, so I missed this. Must have happened today. The Jags are planning offense for Travis Hunter. He's offense and a package on defense. I find that incredibly stupid.
I agree
find
with
that
that.
incredibly stupid.
How about this? Let him go to camp and see what he's better at, and then figure out a package for the other side.
I just someone we had Bruce Feldman on this week, and it was, you know, he had his confidential all his NFL coaches, and I thought one of them made a great point. It's like, if you're a corner, it's like a starting pitcher. You know, you're not a closer. Get there, like you got to be out there. You get a feel for the routes. You get a feel for just the game. You have to be out there the whole game. It just doesn't make sense to me to have what does that even mean? A package? So just like in dime, you put him out there in the field? I just think that's a total misuse of a guy who could be the best corner in the league for 10 years. But hey, Jags are going to jag.
Jags are going to jag. So there you go. Mike Green.
Mike Green. Take him off the board. Really interesting, you know, situation. Again, it's an amazing value if everything's okay with the off-the-field stuff. Just like for the Cardinals, you know, getting Will Johnson at 47, amazing value if that knee's going to end up being all right.
Yeah, I mean, this is where that kind of starts. Like the guys that fall down the draft. So the Broncos are here at pick 60. 4 or 5 more picks left in the second round. But this is where that happens. As guys start to fall, you know, you start taking the flyer on them.
Yep. So
Wow.
you've got, the running back scene right now. We had those 2 Ohio State guys go. You're still looking at Caleb Johnson there, and I'm not saying like, you know, I don't think the Titans are going that route. Obviously, you have my guy scattered, but you got Dylan Sampson from Tennessee. Are we going to see Dylan Sampson come off the board tonight
I'd love
for Tennessee?
to.
I like him.
Look,
Good player.
If with the next pick, if the Titans took Scattaboo, if a receiver's not there, they got to get receiver. But if a receiver they don't like isn't there and they took Sampson or Scattaboo, I wouldn't hate it.
Speaking of running backs, Broncos, R.J. Harvey, UCF running back, ranked 93rd here on the board. They take him at pick 60. So maybe a running back run. You got Trevor Etienne also sitting there, you know. You got, Jordan James from Oregon. By the way, not only did the Titans have Scattaboo in, but they had Jordan James in.
Oh, yeah. Paul Kaharski is going to join us here in a few minutes from the Titans facility, so he's going to call in.
Good. Do some freaking work, Kaharski. My God.
So he
We'll
said he'd
put
give us
him
a
to
call
work.
here in about 5 minutes. You can text in how you feel about this, 615-737-1025. Our YouTube chat has obviously been very active tonight. Robbie has given us a Duval and asked if the Ravens were on the clock for 25 minutes. It is what it kind of felt like. Top tier says take a dang wide receiver. They need to stop kicking the can down the road at wide receiver. You know what? You're right. You're right. You're right, and there should be some there.
Yeah, and look, to your point, Chase. To your point, Chase. You know, they're sitting there and they love Kyle Williams, and they want to reunite Kyle Williams and Cam Ward from their days in Pullman, Washington. And it's like, you know what? Got to move up 5 spots to do it. Well, then do it. You know. How about Levis in a 5th?
I'd trade Levis. Yeah, I mean.
Levis in the 5th to move up 5 spots.
What happens first? Shador Sanders gets drafted or Will Levis gets traded? I'm starting to think it's Will Levis gets traded at this point. The Commanders.
You may be right.
Commanders football team is on the clock and making their selection. So R.J. Harvey was the pick from UCF, that running back, as you said, to Denver. What does Washington do here? Let's see. We wait with anticipation. Does all these former players got to give a speech?
Yeah, they spend way too much time at the podium. But it's better than Mel Kiper spending 20 minutes talking about Shador Sanders. Now, there you go. The other Trey from Ole Miss, Trey Amos, cornerback.
There you go.
It's good. I mean, you're talking about on this board, 39th, going at pick 61? Yes, going at pick 61 to the Commanders. So, and here we go again with the Bears. The Bears.
So because the Bears, with all the trades that they have made, this will now be their 3rd pick in the second round. So they've selected Luther Burden, the receiver from Missouri, and Ozzie Trapillo, tackle from Boston College. And we'll see what they do here. And then last night they got the tight end. So they've addressed it. They've done all offense to this point.
Get that you hire that offensive coordinator, one-track mind, man. Just offense. And they have a very good defense.
Well,
good to very good defense.
They're doing what the Titans need to do, and I would say that they're trying to do, and that's build around the young quarterback.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, look, they've done a lot to try to help him, and of course, the biggest thing is, they got the play calling. Not necessarily known like a quarterback developer, but they got a play calling, a brilliant play caller, head coach. What does that mean for Caleb Williams? But what it also does mean is second year in the league, new coach, new system, all that stuff, which is what the Titans should try to not do, try to not be like this year, next year.
It's funny talking, to our buddy Ryan Porth in Chicago. I mean, that was something that they all talked about was, because Eberflus was already kind of on the hot seat. So it's like, if you're going to make the move and take Caleb Williams, make the move. That was my point. If you didn't like Callahan after 1 year and you brought in a new GM, okay, make the move. Now that you've taken the quarterback, don't make you're locked, in my opinion. Like, you're locked in. You got to give him at least 2 years. We'll see if they do, but I think that's what you need to do.
I mean, I think you need to have that mindset. I agree with what Robbie said earlier today on our show, which is, like you go 2-15 and it's like it's just a disaster. It's like this guy isn't a head coach. Then okay, sometimes you have to do it. But like if they go 6-11 this year, I mean, shoot, if they go 5-12 this year, and Cam Ward plays, improves, plays with some promise, then I think that could be enough to bring him back.
Josh wants to know, where is Sampson on the top 100?
Sampson on the top 100 is, I'm looking. I just saw him, and now I've lost him. Maybe he's lower than I thought he was. Why am I? I mean, I just saw him. You know how this happens? Don't you hate when this happens? It's like when you're doing like those word jumbles. You know what I mean? And then you lose your place. He's on the top 100. I can tell you that.
And then while you look that up, Top Tier says, find a way to get Kyle Williams, please. Get it done, and I won't complain about Femi.
Yeah. No, Kyle Williams could be a nice answer. This is really bothering me. Like, it's one of those things where I've looked at it. There he is, 74. 74.
74?
Yep.
Is that what you were saying, Connor?
He said PK.
Oh, PK? Oh, PK. All right, let's go to Paul Kaharski, paulkaharski.com, who is on the phone with us. PK, what did you think of Femi Oladeju at 52?
Except that, doesn't he have to start given this roster, Paul? I mean, like, even if he's not ready for instant impact on this team, doesn't he have to be instant impact? Instant play. Right.
Experience, and some of those interior things that he had in two.
Yeah, it's an interesting transition. So I know you guys, probably going to get Borgonzi and Callahan at the end of the night, but you just got him. What did you think of him? How did that interview go? What came out of that really struck your interest?
Pretty energetic guy, upbeat, big smile. Talked about Nashville as a destination, as a great place to be. Upbeat about the team, and knew there's no state tax here. So I thought that was pretty funny.
Coming from Cali. Meanwhile, Nico goes out there and get ready for those taxes, buddy.
Takes a big hit the other direction.
That's right.
It sounds like a good team guy in that the move to edge was something UCLA needed him to do, not necessarily something that he was seeking out in terms of getting to a more glorified position or anything like that.
Paul, what do you think happens from here? Do they just stick and pick in the third round, or could you see more movement?
I would think they stick and pick here at 82. This is what they wanted to do, was to wind up with one pick in each round here, number one overall, and then they got to 52 and 82 in the trade down. It'd be nice to see a receiver there, but I could see him going tight end or, a lot of different directions, really, with all the holes on their roster. I wouldn't be surprised to see a corner in particular, but I haven't been paying attention for a while to see what's been coming off the board, and obviously it's a little bit still.
Are we going to get to a situation, Paul, where they may not address receiver like we all hope they would, and maybe it's going to be in the later rounds? You got to hope for the best.
I'm going to remain optimistic about their adding one. I mean, it's not going to be a number one caliber guy, but they've got to have some depth with quality people for Cam Ward. And Tyler Lockett's a good add to be in the slot, an upgrade over Boyd, but not a permanent solution. And they need to start drafting guys who are going to be permanent fixtures in this receiving core. And they don't have anybody unless Bryce Oliver pans out who stands to be one of those guys. And it's something they're going to have to establish with Cam Ward, for Cam Ward. And, I would hope that starts at 82 or 103.
Quick update, a little run on D tackles. Bears do go defense. Shamar Turner, Texas A&M. We've got a Vol going to the Chiefs. Omar Norman Lott.
They like Vols.
At 63, so PK, big Vol supporter, very excited about that. At edge, PK, the one guy I'm surprised that we're still talking about him not having been picked, there's one pick left in the second round, is Landon Jackson of Arkansas. If there was an edge available at that moment, who would you have liked or preferred? If not,
I'm sure glad it wasn't Mike Green. I didn't see them going that direction. That was the fear in the press room, that we were going to be digging up arrest records or reports of his leaving Virginia and what had happened even as far back as high school. Uman Allen, I think, maybe would have been somebody in range there. But
from Ole Miss, yeah.
Yeah, some good guys had come off the board. So I don't know that I had somebody I was pulling for.
The Panthers, of course, moved up to 51 right before and they took Nick Skirton, the Texas A&M edge. Do you see that as a get him so the Titans can't get him?
I don't think so, and I don't think the Titans had one guy there. People were speculating that Higgins going off the board right before them was the reason that they bailed out, and I've all but been told that's not what triggered them. I think they were, from the end of yesterday looking to get out, as we had thought all along. I think they had a lot of people they liked at that point. Nobody that obviously overwhelmed them, certainly not Luther Burden, and they wanted to get a second and third round pick, and they accomplished the mission.
Paul, we appreciate you taking some time with us tonight. We might check in with you a little later. We'll see what else happens, but thanks so much for doing this.
I'm happy to be on with the Athletic Tennessean beat writer.
There you go. Venerable. Hey, you come out here, I'll get you a tater keg.
Tater
PK.
keg.
I'll save you a tater keg, buddy.
Sounds delicious. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Some mead.
Paul Kuharsky, paulkuharsky.com, and, of course, a regular on Robbie and Rex Road as well, joining us. So I think Paul's kind of with a lot of us of optimistic, but cautiously optimistic, and kind of need to let it play out.
Yeah, and that's, again, it's like you look at this year, I mean, I don't think anybody's under the illusion that the Titans are going to figure out a way during this draft to all of a sudden have some, resurgent surprise team in the NFL this year. And I understand the last 2 years we've seen the high quarterback come into a terrible team, and we've seen it happen in Washington. We've seen it happen in Houston where they went way beyond expectation. I don't think that's happened this year. Okay.
By the way, so we had a little bit of a hiccup on our video stream that I had to fix while we were doing that. And Josh says, Chase fixing the issues tonight has been way more exciting than the Titans draft selection. So
who did it better, McCabe or Borgonzi? Both of them trying to plug holes and fix a situation.
So let's see. Are we at the end? We're last pick in the second round.
Which SEC defensive player is Philly taking with the last pick in the second round?
I mean, there's a Georgia center on the board. They could do that.
Yeah, that's right.
They just paid a center, so I don't think they need that.
The Lions just took the Georgia guard, but we still have the Georgia center.
I mean, they got to take a Georgia player.
I mean, there's still some good edges here. Again, we're going to go into the third round with Shedeur Sanders, with Jalen Milroe on the board. Yeah, Norman Lott, I like that pick. I do. He is not in the top 100 here on Brugler's list. He's a good football player.
So that's who they took?
Lott's a good football player for the Chiefs.
Oh, the Chiefs. Oh, yeah.
Chiefs
Omar
defensive
Norman,
tackle. Yeah. Again, the Bears did finally address defense. So
the Eagles with the final pick in the second round, Andrew Makuba from Texas, the safety.
Okay. Interesting.
What's that?
Boy, Xavier Watts. Speaking of safety, Xavier Watts, man, he'd be a pretty good third-round pick for somebody. I don't believe this guy's top 100 either. So we're drifting into the 100 pluses now.
We are there. We are
And we're
officially
only in
there.
the 60s in the draft, which again, it speaks to the theme, right?
Robbie Stanley says Shador can play for the Cats. Hey, we can make that happen. I'll make some calls right now. Call Jeff Fisher. We'll get him. We'll get him there.
Hey, Shador. I love Big Joe's
Hey,
Jeff
Shador.
Fisher.
Be a great player for a team.
Not
Pull
bad.
us out.
Not
Just
bad.
Tell your dad, don't lose my number. Don't want him to call me. Tell him to call Greg Pogue.
You sound like Napoleon Dynamite.
It's a mix of Napoleon Dynamite and other. I mean,
Can you do the dance, the Napoleon Dynamite
No.
dance? No.
not really. I don't do a good dance. All right, I tell you what, we're going to step away, take a little bit of a break as the second round has come to a close. We are live at Boom Baz in East Nashville. Got a nice little crowd here. Thanks for being here. And Draft Night in Nashville here at Boom Baz is presented by Hardee's, Shane Company, Permit Tractor and Equipment, Professional Home Improvements, and Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Draft Night in Nashville continues here on the Game Nashville Sports Network and Sports Talk 8:30 a.m. Boombas here in East Nashville. Chase McCabe and the one and only Joe Rexroad. He is one half of Robbie and Rexroad mornings from 6 to 9 on 102.5, 106.3 The Game. And, of course, you can hear me and Big Joe Dubin right after them, 9 to 11 on 102.5, 106.3 The Game. We are officially in the third round of the draft. And, again, we're live at Boombas Pizza and Watch Bar in East Nashville. We have just ordered a pizza. We have had some tater kegs. It is very, very good.
These tater kegs, get them away from me.
Our
They're too
our
good.
friend Music
They're too
City
good.
Bets is having a cold one. Stone Cold Steve Austin style. What? And we are watching everything happen with the draft. Again, it is all brought to you by Hardy Shane Company, Parman Tractor and Equipment, Professional Home Improvements, Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, and again here at Boombas in East Nashville. All right, Rexy, why don't you update it? Excuse me. Update us. That was nice. Update us on what's happened so far.
You a little potato,
Yeah,
tater
it was a
keg
tater
caught in
keg.
there.
It was a tater keg.
Tater keg caught in the beer. Yeah, so we're a few picks into the third round now. We've had 4 picks. Giants take Toledo. We got a little Maction, okay, going on here. Toledo defensive tackle Darius Alexander. Pick 66. The Chiefs take Ashton Gillott, edge, out of Louisville. Also, by the way, that is the pick the Titans traded to the Chiefs for L'Jarius Sneed. So, the guy keep an eye on, Ashton Gillott from the
Gelato.
Cards. That's right, playing edge for the Chiefs. They have addressed their defensive front pretty heavily so far. A guy I love. You know, I'm actually mad at myself for not mentioning when we were talking about tight ends earlier for the Titans. The Browns take Harold Fannin Jr., Bowling Green tight end, monster. Love this dude. Talk about some action. He destroyed Penn State earlier this year. He's a heck of a player. And then the Raiders go Darian Porter, cornerback out of Iowa State. Also, someone's tweeting at me, Chase, that apparently Rand Carthon is grading the pick, so he's grading the Titans. But I'm trying to click on the link, and it's not working for me. But apparently Rand Carthon is right now. He's grading the Titans picks for CBS.
I would love
for
to know.
CBSSports.com. You gotta love that.
By the way, John Cena is a part of doing the Patriots pick, I guess. But I would love to know what Rand thinks. I would love to know what J-Rob thinks.
Sure.
I'd love his opinion.
Oh, yeah. I'd love J-Rob to say anything. Come on,
You want me to see if he'll
come
call
on, play,
in?
J-Rob. Come on, play.
J-Rob, if you're listening right now, come to East Nashville. Come hang out with us.
You know, J-Rob one time during training camp made a joke.
TD now.
I think we were ripping on Jared out there.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
why not? Why not? It was a typical day out there at Titans Center Camp. And J-Rob made a joke about someday I'll probably be doing a show with him.
Jared and the GM part 2.
I'm telling you.
Let's say
Here
hello.
for it.
Let's say hello to ESPN's Sharon Davenport, who is at the Titans facility. TD, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? How you guys doing?
We're not good now because Kyle Williams just went off the board of the Patriots.
Vrabel.
Dang you, Vrabel.
Vrabel sticking it to the Titans, taking Cam Ward's favorite target. My goodness.
Hey, well, his other favorite target is going to probably be there in the 4th, and they got 2 4th-round picks. So.
Yes, absolutely. But do you think, TD? I know
You're saying Restrepo?
Restrepo,
Yeah.
Other than Xavier Restrepo, guess we're talking with TD, man.
Okay. I'm
here for that. I'm here for Restrepo. But at 82, TD, I guess would you be surprised if they don't go receiver there?
No, I won't be surprised if they don't. I think you look at some of the guys that they like. Deontay Thornton is a guy that I know there's a lot of interest here, and he's obviously evolved, so that could break the streak of violent Tennessee guys not being selected. So that's something. But that's a little bit later. I think you look at Elijah Badger. You look at the different ones. It's not just the guys like Kyle Williams that'll be available to them. So there's other options. It could be a safety. It could be Quincy Riley, out of Louisville, who I know there's a lot of interest in him as well, the cornerback.
Are you, before I get into the Titans more, how shocked are you that Shedeur Sanders is still on the board?
Hey, I'm very surprised. I think, and I'll remain steadfast in my thought that he's a first-round talent. It's just, this league is interesting, man, and I know, apparently he rubs some people the wrong way in interviews and things like that, and that's something that he's going to have to atone for, once whoever does select him selects him. But I also feel like this is kind of, the league just trying to, teach a lesson. Like, hey, you don't have control of everything. We got control. And I just, I have a belief that that's what the league is doing. It's unfortunate for the young man, but, it is what it is. You got to deal with it. And adversity, it makes the strong strong and the weak weaker. So we'll see what it does for him.
Go ahead.
Well, now that he's on, I'm just quickly your thoughts on Isaac. I don't even really remember this guy. Tesla from Arkansas, TD receiver.
Just went to Detroit.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of interest in Tesla as well.
Tesla.
He's a big slot receiver. Very, I hate to use this word because it's kind of like coding, but deceivingly athletic and fast. Like you don't look at him and think like he's going to be, what he is on the football field. He's a playmaker, and like I said, he's a slot guy. You could bump him outside too. He's right around 6'3" or so. In the 4.4 range. Definitely an attractive athlete.
Femi Oladejo, obviously a guy who just started playing the position. So we had PK on, and he made the point. Maybe instant high impact. That might be a stretch for a guy who just started playing. But also you could look at that, turn around, and say, look at what he did just starting to play the position. There's a lot more for him. What do you think of him?
Yeah, I definitely feel Landon Jackson, Kyle Kennard, those might have been better options. But in this case, what they're doing is they're drafting for upside. And you got a guy who's played, I think it's like 11 or 12 games as the edge rusher. He's dropped back into coverage, as a middle linebacker. In fact, if you look at my Twitter, I posted a video of him picking off Cam Ward in 2023. You know what I mean? Because he told us that's what he did. So I found a video and posted it. So I say all that to say this is one of those things where they're banking on the upside and hoping that, what he showed at the Senior Bowl as far as having a couple really good weeks of practice and then having 2 sacks in the game, they're banking on that being the calling card for him to just continue to ascend into the position. Are they in a point where they could afford to do that? That remains to be seen. I don't know how long this staff is going to have, but if it were me, I would bank on somebody who I know is already there, like the Kyle Kennard.
Teron Davenport is with us here on draft night in Nashville. So, again, we kind of talked to PK about this, and Joe and I have been batting this around. I mean, I think they're approaching, they're about 10 picks away. I think they're going to pick at 82. What kind of movement could you see happening, tomorrow?
I don't know that there's going to be a lot of movement tomorrow, honestly. I could see them sticking and picking. But you also have to consider, they have a lot of picks on day 3. So maybe they try to package some things up to move up. I mean, we know this draft is one where there's a lot of picks, a lot of players that be available that you could get on day 3 that could legit compete for a starting spot. So I know earlier Stillman was saying, he doesn't care about day 3. I beg to differ with that. Guys like Jayon Brown have been selected on day 3, but more recently, Jarvis Brownlee Jr. was selected on day 3. So it is true that guys that can play football can be selected there, and I think they will add some good players in the the 4th through the 7th.
Does Will Levis get dealt tomorrow?
That's a good question. If it were me, I would strongly consider it, but I mean, at this point, if you trade him, for what? What do you get? There's no
a 5th.
Shouldn't be no sense of urgency. I mean, is a 5th really worth it? It's not like you have a big contract you're trying to unload. End of the day, he's required to be a professional, right? And so obviously things didn't go his way, but hey, you know what? Ball out and make yourself, one of the top backups. I think that's the way that they got to approach it. I don't know for sure that they need to trade him.
TD, to your point on day 3, and we've talked about this before, but obviously the back end of the draft is probably where it's really affected in terms of NIL, and guys are I could actually make pretty good money playing for this SEC or Big Ten team or whatever. I'm gonna do that another year. What round do you really think that takes hold? Is it now the 6th and 7th are kind of just a little bit less valuable, or where would you cut that off?
It's really interesting. Normally I would say the 6th or 7th, but I think in this case, you got a lot of the COVID guys still filtering into the league. I believe this would be the last year. So between the 6th and 7th and undrafted free agents, I mean, you're going to have a good selection of guys that you'll be able to sign from. So next year, I would say, yeah, 6th or 7th is when NIL will start to, really deteriorate what's available to you then.
Well, TD, we appreciate you joining us here tonight. We'll see what happens here in a few picks. The Saints are making their selection right now at 71, so about 10 picks away, and the Titans will be on the clock again. Appreciate it, my friend.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, TD. Tell PK to pipe down. I can hear him from here.
He's actually very comical today. I like it.
Tell him we're going to send Jared over there in a few minutes, see what he says.
God.
I got you. He's going to leave.
Yeah, probably. Thank you, TD. Teron Davenport, ESPN, and also the host of Talking with TD, and you can hear him all over these airwaves, does a tremendous job covering the National Football League. So they took their break, and now they're back making picks again. Vernon Broughton, is it Broughton?
Broughton, I think.
Broughton,
yeah.
Defensive tackle from Texas.
Another Texas defensive tackle. I mean, they just, every year they'll put 2 or 3 in the draft. Why not?
All right, I'm calling it. It's going to be wrong, but I'm calling it. The Jets have 73 after the Bills.
Okay.
Shador's going to the Jets.
Okay.
It's chaos. I want to see it.
Okay.
I live for chaos.
Here's some interesting stuff on Femi Oladejo. So Brian Summers, very a beloved listener of our program. This is from Go Long TD. That's Tyler Dunn. Tyler Dunn has a great website. He covered the Bills, Packers for a long time. This is a scout on Oladejo. Thank you.
Oladejo.
Says, quote, he played stack linebacker for 3 seasons, edge for 1, more of a run defender. Just the lack of awareness and instinct kinds of limits his production. When he gets to the NFL, he's going to have to choose between football and this faith-based group that has been banned from college campuses across the country. It's probably not ideal for him, end quote. Okay.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. But anyway, so now Easton Freeze.
Look who just went to Buffalo.
Who you got?
Landon Jackson.
There he is, man. That's a pretty good value for them. I tell you what. He's a good player.
That's it.
He's a good football player.
That might.
Yeah. No, I mean it's a reach. It's a little bit of a reach what they've done here. So Easton Freeze though does follow up on that, and he says on the topic of this involvement in this group, that at least one anonymous scout saw a problem. A Titans source told him, quote, made a lot out of something small. They did their due diligence, came away unbothered. So there you go. But there's just another thing to complain about with Oladejo.
Right.
Don't love the pick.
Yeah. Randy says, break up the waiting. I love this idea. I think you should send over a bunch of your they drafted a guard rants and monologues. Send them to the sports talk shows in Dallas. They can use it as an OMG. They took a guard training source. Thank you, Randy.
Guard.
A guard. Ultra BMW says, is it possible Shador doesn't get drafted at all? I mean,
I guess at this point.
I don't think so. The Jets, here we go.
Are they up now?
They're on. They're selecting.
Right. Okay.
They are selecting. We wait with anticipation. By the way, I'm still mad at Vrabel because that was a total.
That's a total stick it to the Titans move. It's
Azariah Thomas from Florida State,
cornerback. So There you go.
But yeah, no, Vrabel basically just said "fart you." That's what he said. I like this. I like this idea. Yeah.
It kind of works, man. It kind of works. Corked Bats. If this keeps up, Deion Sanders will become the head coach of the NFL Draft Green Room. Corked Bats is on a roll.
Deion's making calls of like, "Hey, hire me as your coach so my son can get drafted."
Interesting stuff that TD had on that. I don't know that I buy like that. This was primarily related to like the interview stuff. I'm sure they probably really hurt him with some teams, right?
Yeah.
But look, I mean,
I kind of buy the NFL sending a message.
Yeah, I don't. they're all trying to beat each other.
Yeah.
I mean, that's collusion. Like
That
if you
would be collusion,
think
yeah.
if you think he's good, I don't give a crap about the other 31 teams. Screw you.
Yeah,
He's going
right.
to quarterback me to a win. I think some people are going to react that way, right? I mean, there's going to be a whole lot of finger pointing at Dion, and what do we have here?
Mel Kiper watching.
Got Tony Soprano. Yeah, but look, let's again go back to the draft from 3 years ago, when Malik Willis, on the day of the draft, someone projected him to go number 2 overall, and he went in the 3rd round. I mean, it's just saying it's not the craziest thing. Now, if it goes past the 3rd round, then I'm at a complete loss for words. I mean, a complete loss. But so Brugler has him as a 34th prospect, right? The 34th prospect on the big board. So if he goes like 75, is that a fall? Yes, but it's not like we've never seen something like that before. You see that every year. It's just, again, so much has been made of him, and clearly the whole "who is it, Cam, or is it Shador?" was obviously overblown.
Right. It was way overblown.
And that's on media.
Sure, it's our fault.
Yes, it is. We'll take the blame. We'll take the blame. Ricky's pointing at me.
The Broncos are on the clock right now at 74. Again, the Titans will pick at 82. We're going to step away because our pizza's here. So sorry, Connor, we got to do that. But we are live at Boomba's Pizza and Watch Bar in East Nashville, and Draft Night in Nashville is presented by Hardee's, Shane Company, Parman Tractor and Equipment, Professional Home Improvements, and Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Here on Sports Talk 8:30 a.m. and across the Game Nashville Sports Network.
The 4th annual 6
By Harmon Tractor and Equipment, Shane Company, Professional Home Improvements, Hardee's, and by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Your sports live here on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and The Game Nashville Sports Network.
We continue on draft night in Nashville at Boombaz here in East Nashville. Chase McCabe alongside the Athletics' Joe Rexroad, and also one half of Robbie and Rexroad mornings from 6 to 9 on 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Also, you can hear Chase and Big Joe, my show, from 9 to 11 on 102.5 The Game. It's funny, I hear that music, and I wanted to be like, from the banks of the Cumberland River at Nissan Stadium, the Tennessee Titans are at home tonight to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Hello again, everybody. I'm Chase McCabe alongside Joe Rexroad. There you go. That's my intro.
Nice. Very nice.
Good?
Yeah,
I gave you time to eat your pizza. That's what I was doing. I was stalling there.
I appreciate it.
Got you.
It's really good. I want more.
Oh, the pizza. Look, the food here at Boombaz is fantastic, but we just had some pizza and some tater kegs.
The Tony Supremo.
Tony Supremo, is that what we went with?
It'd be the perfect pizza if it had onions on it, but Ricky can't have onions on the pizza, so we had to take the onions off the pizza.
Yeah.
Rate the pizza?
Rate the pizza. I'm going to say a 9.2.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
obviously a scale of 1 to I don't know if I go in the 9s. It's really good though.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It's fantastic. So we appreciate Boombaz for having us here tonight.
8-4, okay?
8-4? Okay. All right, that's good. That's solid.
Ricky, you got something?
So we are in the third round. Oh, you made me happy earlier, Cowboys. Let's see what you're going to do here.
So
gosh, if they do. Somebody messed with you. Well, you did that earlier. That was you. That's twice now. Or Sean did that. You weren't here. Sean did that earlier. He came over and said, they just took Shador. And I was like, what the? Yeah, sorry. Everything's running together. Let's see. The Broncos took Pat Bryant, wide receiver from Illinois. Nick Martin, Oklahoma State linebacker, went to San Francisco at 75. Cowboys on the clock at 76.
Yep, and again, Landon Jackson. It's another, these edges, some of these other edges. You have the edge going to Kansas City out of Louisville, Ashton Gillott.
Siobhan
There you go, Siobhan Ravel. I
like that pick.
I like the pick for your
right.
Cowboys, man. I
Good
like
job,
the pick.
Jerry. That's 2 in a row that you've not screwed up.
Getting him at 76. I mean, that's he's a good player. But these edges, I mean, Landon Jackson in Buffalo, and of course, Ashton Gillott in Louisville, who was the pick that you traded for L'Jarius Sneed. These are guys you're going to watch here, and of course compare them to Oladejo, who looks like a bit of a reach and looks like a bit of a project and looks like someone who.
So you're kind of like everybody that has gone through this, and you're liking it less and less.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, I do get the idea of ceiling and just started, and wow, look at what he's done in less than a full season of playing this position, and what could that lead to? I get that idea. He has the traits, but yeah, I mean, again, it's kind of like the discussion over some of the other edges compared to Shamar Stewart. I like people who make the plays, who do the football like you want it done, and you bring it to the NFL, as opposed to he could do this in the NFL because he has this or that attribute. So I think they could have made a better pick there.
I'm with you. Panthers are making their selection now. So the Titans will be up here very, very soon at 82.
And so who are we looking at? We're looking at on the receiver front. Who are the top choices still left? You've got Jalen Royals from Utah State is sitting there. You've got, as we've talked about, Isaiah Bond, Elick Ayonomor from Stanford. We do now. Wait a minute.
Royals is still there.
Royals still there, and Jalen Noel is still there, right?
Yeah.
The other Iowa State guy, Jalen Noel, who at this point it's a surprise. I mean, we're talking about 42 on the board, and he's still sitting there at pick 78. So the other Iowa State guy, who, by the way, I was going to say, I thought Brugler might have ranked him ahead of Higgins, but they're very
Ty
close.
Felton's there. I mean, I like Restrepo. I'm with TD, but not here.
I think you can get him later.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel like based on need, you kind of need to go. If a receiver's there, that's kind of where you need to go.
Yeah, but
unless you go O-line.
You could go O-line.
Jordan Birch is still there if you want to go another edge.
You've got Jordan Birch, who's a prominent edge. You've got Jack Sawyer, who is there. Again, are you going to go edge? Listen, you need them. They'll both. That's the thing. I mean, you go edge again, and immediately that's a contender to start for this team. But you also leave so much unaddressed if you do that. You've got. I'm going to keep saying it. Xavier Watts from Notre Dame.
I really
like him.
You're kind of selling me on him.
Again, I know safety's not top of mind right now, but Xavier Watts from Notre Dame is a good player. You have Noel Williams, Cal cornerback. If you're looking at cornerback, the place you could go. So, but yeah, I would guess one of the Josiah Stewart, another edge out of Michigan. Pretty good.
Another Ole Miss player just went off the board to Carolina.
Mamulin, yeah. Princely.
Yeah.
That was another edge we were talking about.
Yep.
Possibly. Boy, so that means
kind
the
of a
Panthers
run.
are on an absolute edge tear here, taking him and SEC edges and taking Skirton out of Texas A&M.
Ricky just said Jalen Noel was a Titans target.
Jalen Noel.
So maybe that's if he's there.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, he just got drafted? Oh.
The Texans just took him? How far behind are we?
The Cardinals haven't even gotten the Cardinals pick yet.
How are you getting these scoops, Ricky?
He
who
does
are
get
you
scoops.
following, Ricky?
He followed, yeah, I don't know.
Is this on the dark web somewhere? Are you getting these picks before people even make you stop it over there, Ricky.
Our friend Maddie that's here, an Ole Miss grad, says 5 Ole Miss players drafted is the highest in the history of the school.
There you go.
Fun fact there.
Lane Kiffin. Take a bow.
The Lane train.
Shouldn't have lost to Florida. But I didn't. I'm sorry. Sorry that I brought it up.
Okay, well.
So is that true? Is Ricky messing with us, or is that true that the Texans just took Jalen Noel at 79?
I don't know. I mean, I'm looking for it.
Okay, hold on. I think that
because Kaharski just said, could Arizona stand between the Titans and Jalen Noel?
What is happening right now? Ricky's like in a time machine.
He finds stuff out. If you're ever worried that like somebody's talking crap about you, he'll go find it. Now usually it's him that's actually talking the crap.
Exactly.
But,
Oh, believe me, I've seen his Twitter account. He's almost as mutable as Stilly.
Ari Mira, My Sports Updates. That's where he's getting it.
Oh, Ari? Oh, boy.
So they're taking.
Isn't that like a robot?
So the Texans are taking.
Isn't he like an
receivers?
AI guy? Is that right? So they got Noel. Okay, so tell me who the Cardinals got at 78 then. If we already passed over the Cardinals, can we get a Cardinals pick in here? This draft is going off the rails. Just in time for the Colts to take another awesome player. Because Chris Ballard's the best GM in the NFL, according to IndyBed. So the Texans took Jalen Noel, and previously they took who was the previous receiver? Chase.
Higgins.
Oh, they took.
You're talking about Texans?
They took both Iowa State guys?
I guess, yeah.
I kind of like it. Just bring Ames, Iowa to Houston. Okay, so Jordan Birch, there you go. Speaking of Jordan Birch, that's who the Cardinals took.
Okay.
So there's an edge off the board, and that's a good value.
All right.
52 on this top 100, going at 78 to the Cardinals.
So then the Colts, then the Bengals. So it's Texans we've heard, then Colts, then Bengals, then Titans.
So, boy, I have no idea. I mean, Kaharski put cold water on my idea that Nick Skirton was who the Cardinals decided they needed, or the Panthers decided they needed to get in front of the Titans to get, right?
Yeah.
I still think that's a possibility. And now the Texans may have just taken the guy that the Titans wanted to take at receiver. The Texans have made a habit of taking a guy the Titans want to take.
Oh, they do that. They definitely do that. So I'm looking through Twitter just to see what else has been tipped off.
How about Savion Williams
for the Titans?
Yeah.
What is he?
He is a TCU receiver.
Oh, he's the other one, the other TCU receiver.
Everybody has two in this draft.
It seems that way.
But
I mean, if Royals is there, I mean, I'd probably take him.
Yeah.
But I like Savion Williams. Bond is there. Torrey Horton, Colorado State. Ty Felton still there. Jalen Lane. So, I mean, yeah, here the Texans, that's official now, Jalen Knoll. So Rick's source must be right. Let's follow this source. Let Rick knows stuff.
So it really is just Ari? It's Ari Mirov? Huh?
Yep.
Well, I know it's on TV now, but you had this 10 minutes ago. Sources.
Okay, so if the Titans don't get a wide receiver tonight, are you still looking at Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore, Deontay Johnson?
Oh, boy. I mean, you just dipped into, you just got Tyler Lockett,
Yeah.
I mean, you got Van Jefferson and Tyler Lockett.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. The geriatric room doesn't need to. Yeah, it doesn't need to get more geriatric, I don't think. But like to me, Chase, like I would rather try to find the next NWI, UDFA. Like Bryce.
I mean, look,
I'd rather
Restrepo might be that guy.
No, Restrepo. If they get Restrepo later,
yeah,
I don't hate that at all. He can play.
Colts making their selection. Jonathan Taylor making the pick.
Jonathan Taylor has to do it again?
So Goodell just wanted the night off.
Man.
Goodell's like, I'm good.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Justin Wally, corner from Minnesota.
Okay.
The Bengals.
We're getting to the point in the draft with picks where some of you are just like, okay. Yes, Justin Wally, cornerback from Minnesota. I'm going to tell you the truth, Chase. I've never heard of him.
Yeah, I haven't
That's
either.
just me. I don't watch a lot of Golden Gophers football.
So Robbie just sent this to us. Pro Football Talk. Shedeur Sanders had 1 year of college eligibility left. At some point, and that point may have already arrived, he should consider trying to use it and play for a school other than Colorado. In this NIL era, I'm telling you, stuff like this is coming.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you'd have to get a lawsuit going because that's not allowed once you declare for the draft. But, yeah, I mean, could that be challenged? And could you win in court? Yeah. I mean, I'd say any court case that is brought against the NCAA has a pretty good chance at this point.
I'm telling you. Like, what's to stop? I asked that to Walt Wells, Joe's friend that's the coach at Eastern Kentucky, and I was like, what's to stop a guy that, even if they go into the NFL and they flame out, but they still have eligibility left, what's to stop them from trying to come back? And he's like, I don't see that happening and all that. But I don't know, man. I didn't think all the stuff that's happening now would ever happen.
Right. And it all ends up going to restricting earnings, which again is if you get to the point where there's collective bargaining, you can actually have rules, because the athletes will agree to the rules, and then you're not going to get sued for everything anymore. I mean, it's where it has to go. But we'll fart around, Chase, for a few years. Okay?
They're going to fart around and find out.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So I'm glad you picked this up. This is great.
The Broncos, or not the Broncos, the Bengals go Dylan Fairchild, the guard from Georgia.
Another guard. How many Georgia guards are we talking about here?
The Titans.
The Lions
are on
took
the clock.
a Georgia guard earlier, too. All right, what are they doing? Let's get predictions right now. I'm gonna go Royals. I'm gonna go Jalen Royals.
See, I was gonna say that too.
You can say that too. Cam Scatteraboo.
You say Scatteraboo,
dude. I mean, I tell you what.
Don't get him started. I mean, he will.
If that happens, I might bust out of some karaoke right here. Okay.
I like Royals.
Kicker.
They could draft a kicker. I'm going Royals. He's there. I'm going Royals or Gunnar Helm.
Gunnar Helm. Yeah. Don't hate it.
Don't disappoint me, Titans. Jared Wilson, the center, still there. It's Kevin Winston.
And he could potentially play Garrett.
They took a safety. They took Kevin Winston from Penn State, according to Mr. Merritt over here.
Really? Boy. Interesting drafts for the Titans, I've got to say. I mean, should I do the, oh, no, they took a safety.
You can.
Okay. Kevin Winston.
Safety?
By the way, Kevin Winston Jr. Now, look, I was just talking about Xavier Watts, and you didn't hate that. So,
yeah.
Here's a different safety. By the way, he's number 83 on the Brugler Big Board. Kevin Winston Jr., and I'm going to be coming with some more information for you real fast here.
Well, I mean, has anyone tweeted that other than what Ricky's given
Are we
us?
scooping everybody on Ricky and the dark web?
We might be. The underwebs. It is Kevin Winston, Paul Kuharski.
There you go, Kevin Winston. Huh. Again, Amin Wari, I would have been like, okay. By the way, if we're talking safeties, per Brugler, Amin Wari was his 1, Malachi Starks was his 2, Xavier Watts was his 3, Kevin Winston Jr.
was his 4.
Is his 4. So here's the overview. The overview is standout run defender who needs to become a more consistent coverage guy.
Yeah, we have the one guy. We have the one guy on on our YouTube chat, Curtis. Come on, guys! Everyone is new at the front office. Like, okay.
I'm going to read some.
Yeah,
Brugler.
we're all patient here. Okay.
I'm going to read some Brugler. Quote, overall, Winston is still green in the way he diagnoses play development, but the tools are there for him to eventually become a quality NFL starter. The Titans are building up for a 2028 season that's just going to be the second year in the new stadium, guys. That's when we're going to start seeing some real dividends paid off. So strength, a lot of it is physicality. He's a one-year starter. He was voted a team captain last year. He had a season-ending injury. What have you got?
Well, there are times. I'm going to let you see Jared's tweet, and you tell me if I made the right decision, because he just asked me if he could send it, and I said yes.
Okay. Don't take him to test drive.
Do I make the right call?
Yeah, that's fine.
He says they just took an injured safety to go with their perpetually injured corner. Don't take him to test drive cars, please. Thank you. So Jared clearly does not like the pick.
Here's some more weaknesses. Zone instincts average at best. Questionable redirect and range. Also, he tweaked his knee, and it turned out to be a partially torn ACL. So this whole thing of they're not going to do the injured player thing. They're not going to. It's all like available. Yep, that's out the window now too. So.
Yeah,
it's going great, everybody.
I don't know.
Oh my goodness. DeMatha Catholic High, great school. Lots of great.
I don't know what
there.
he's doing. I just asked Jared if he wants to call in because I kind of want him to.
Did you tell him that he can't swear though?
Yeah. No, he goes.
Jared,
no, he's in bed.
Replace fart, Jared.
I mean, the Royals was there, and that's what Jared's saying. He's hurt. He's a hurt player.
Yeah, he missed most of the year with a partially torn ACL.
So, okay, but here's my question. We've seen with this new regime that they have taken guys that play. All the free agents that they've signed, they play. They don't miss time. They're not hurt.
Right.
So is it unreasonable that they take a chance on one guy that's coming off an injury?
No.
Or are we so just,
It's not unreasonable. I think but then you combine it with the questions about him as a player, which are there.
Yeah.
Again, it's another one of those. He could be good. And you combine it with the fact that, like they need safeties, they need everything. But, boy, do they need a receiver, right? Or tight, like something. So you're going to, can you get anything to help Cam Ward? I mean, it's just it's kind of a tough scene right now.
Here's a tweet from Alex that Ricky just sent. Titans saying Cam got to turn the wide receiver room from water to wine the way they are drafting. I don't know. I guess they think they can get Restrepo with one of those fourth rounders, or
yeah. I mean, there's other guys. There are other receivers. I'm sure they will take a receiver at some point. I think.
But I feel like we go through this every year. Running back Caleb Johnson from Iowa to Pittsburgh.
Oh man, couldn't be a more perfect fit for a player and a team.
Yeah. I feel like we go through this every year where it's like Titans need a receiver in the first 3 rounds. They need a receiver, and then they don't do it.
And by the way,
and guess what? Then we spend all season talking about, man, if they had only taken a receiver.
I know. You're not wrong. By the way, this would have been one of the possible Shedeur spots, but apparently the Steelers weren't looking at him at 21 because they didn't even look at Shedeur Sanders at 83.
I don't think he's getting drafted. Look, I think at this point, it's becoming the Pro Football Talk thing might come true.
What did Pro Football Talk say?
Basically saying fight for
try to go back to college.
And go to another school or something.
I know that my jersey's retired at Colorado, but hi, I'm new TCU quarterback Shedeur Sanders.
That whole retiring, that's going to bite them so bad.
It's really bad. It's really dumb. Again, Travis Hunter absolutely won the Heisman. Maybe do it in a couple of years, but sure. Shedeur Sanders, it's just ridiculous. When it was some of the guys that whose jerseys they haven't retired. I mean, but there's a lot of ridiculous stuff going on kind of around that situation at this point.
Oh, I can't read this tweet, but it's true.
Yeah, we're reading your tweet, Ricky.
Well, Jared sent me that.
Take that to a little risque website, okay? Yeah, well, maybe.
The dark web.
Jacob Parrish, cornerback, Kansas State, goes to the Bucs. 84.
Jared says, who did? Jacob Parrish?
Jacob Parrish.
Jared says, I would have preferred Emma Warrior as Araku over the two guys they ended up with. Yeah.
Well, now, wait. Well, they couldn't have taken Evan Warrior.
Well, I think he's saying either or. I don't know.
Right, because they bailed out.
Because they would have done that at 35.
Okay, yeah. So just
stay.
Oh, you're right. Because at 35, that's what Seattle came to do, was to take him. Which makes me wonder, what would the Titans have done had they not had anybody come up to take that pick? Evan Warrior? I mean, they just took a safety.
Yeah, maybe.
They need a safety. Try and look at the bright side. There's a thing on PFF here. This is from 4 days ago. A healthy Kevin Winston Jr. is a first-round talent. So,
I mean, look, if they're just taking a flyer, I mean, I guess the third round's the spot to do it.
Here's a Go Long TD, Tyler Dunn. Remember the white site we talked about? It's a great site. A scout. He has some really good reporters who have a lot of sources of scouts in the league. Okay, said, quote, he's super talented. This is Kevin Winston. Quote, he's super talented. The problem is he didn't play this year. He basically played in one game and 14 plays in the second game. He's tall, long, really athletic. He can run. He's got great cover skills. For a guy that's long and lean, he's got no problem hitting. A little bit out of control, needs some strength as a tackler. So that's not all bad,
Yeah.
Oh, there's Noah Williams.
Yeah.
That would have been one of the possible receivers the Titans could have taken.
No, he's a corner.
Oh, that's my fault.
Yeah. I mean, there's kind of a run on corner right now.
Yeah, you got I'm sorry, Cal, corner, not receiver.
Or DB. I mean, you've had Wally go to the Colts, then a guard, and then Titans take a safety, running back, and then two corners.
Two corners in
back
a
to
row.
back. So,
and now the Chargers coming up next. Always possible, folks. The Titans could,
it could
sneak back in. I wouldn't bet on it. I wouldn't expect it, but it's possible.
We will be ending our coverage here in just a few minutes and turning things over to VSiN on Sports Talk 830, and then I know the sound's just wrapped up, so ESPN's draft coverage will take over on 94.9 The Fan here in a few minutes. But I don't love it. I mean, I'm cool with Cam. You know, like I've convinced myself that that's what they were going to do for months now. But I hope they know what they're doing. That's kind of where I'm at with both these picks.
There's been a lot of hope they know what they're doing with this. And there's been a lot of answers not in the affirmative.
And look, there have been times in history that I hope they know what they're doing turns into they knew what they were doing, and it's great. That just hasn't happened to the Titans in a long time.
Yeah.
That's my concern.
Andrew on the text line says, I blame all the idiots insisting on more picks. Could have had Luther Burden, but no. We got a brand new edge and a safety. But no. I understand. Gentry S. has tweeted this. He said, character guys with a lot of potential and room to grow. That's the apparent theme for the Titans in this draft, playing for the future.
Robbie says in our chat, Cam Ward is going to be throwing to Ridley, Lockett, and Willie Donner. Robbie, you're going to you're going to play the other edge rusher too, and maybe center. Who knows?
I'd throw a fade to Willie, and he'll go up and get a fade in the corner.
Ultra says, "What in the fart are they doing? This is farting crazy." Josh says, "We are Titans fans. There is no bright side." And Ultra says, "I'm actually gassy."
Justin says, we traded down the second, take an edge rusher that is sus, but then take a safety that is even more sus in the third.
Yep.
Way to bring in sus, Just.
Can Jared Stillman run a go route? No. I can tell you that right now.
Well, there's always tomorrow. There are more picks tomorrow.
There's always tomorrow. Force Company will break it all down starting at 9 on 102.5 The Game. And then ESPN's draft coverage on both 102.5 and 94.9. We'll have it all. So it's Coy says the toxic relationship continues. I think that is a good way to put it. The Titans are kind of it's a little bit toxic right now.
And this is this is a weekend where it's not that hard to get people excited during draft weekend. You know what I mean? Now, granted, the Cam dudes, the people who love Cam Ward, they're excited still.
Yeah. By the way,
the Ward are you doings? The ones who don't like Cam, they're even more upset tonight.
We're about halfway through the third round. Shedeur Sanders still hadn't been drafted.
Wild. Any prospects? Any prospects ahead for him? We do have back-to-back Raiders picks, 98 and 99.
Chargers, no.
Save me, Raiders.
Packers, no. Jags. Okay, at this point, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, you start looking at teams that now it's like that's not a bad value for a backup who could develop.
Texans, no. Rams, maybe. Ravens, no. Seahawks, probably not. Saints, no. Browns have basically said, we're good.
But even the Browns, at that point at 94, is it the worst thing?
Can Vrabel take him just for I'll go to the press conference for that.
I think still he has to be put on a plane. Right?
Oh, yes.
Has to be put immediately on a plane.
Eagles, no. Vikings at 33, at 97?
I mean,
Have the Vikings had a pick yet?
Not a lot.
I think they had a first rounder, but.
Fart them picks.
The Vikings, I don't think, picked in the second round. No, they didn't. And then in the first round.
They did have a pick.
Yeah, I remember them picking. I just don't remember. It was Donovan Jackson, the guard from Ohio State.
Right.
So they have not picked in a while. So that's a maybe. If he's still there at 97, and then the Raiders have back-to-back picks, 98, 99, that might be where he – if he's going, that's going to be it.
Yeah, I would say so. I think it'll happen. I actually do.
I know. I don't see a scenario where he falls, all the way to
all the way out of the draft. It's wild, man. And this is, it does get into, if you go past the third round, it does get into a little bit like this is weird, right? Like it's getting weird.
Ricky just said to me, Shador's next job is heading to the WWE Performance Center. It's not crazy. That is not a crazy. That WWE, I mean, they're salivating right now. They love stuff like this to sign people. So that is going to do it for our coverage here tonight. Again, ESPN on 102.5 and when Vandy Baseball is done, and on 94.9 The Fan. VEASAN on Sports Talk 8:30. They'll have you covered with the draft. Want to thank everybody that came out tonight here for draft night in Nashville at Boomba's here in East Nashville, and our friends at Hardy's Shane Company, Parman Tractor and Equipment, Professional Home Improvements, Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Let's give it up for our on-site engineer, Sean Mark, who has also doubled as our waiter tonight. We appreciate that. And also Connor Newt back at the station doing a great job.
Ricky booed him.
He didn't know. He was saying, "Boo Earns." Smithers, are they booing me or saying, "No, sir"? They're saying Boo Earns. That was a good.
He knows I'll come after him.
Yeah, I'd like to see you try. Fart around and find out. That is going to do it for us. Enjoy. Hey, plug your show tomorrow, Connor.
But yeah, Forest Company tomorrow, 9 to 11. We'll break it all down.
Lots of fun, excitement
Can't
about
wait.
the Titans draft picks, right,
Preview
Connor?
Day 3. Yes, sir.
Can't wait for that. Packers are making their selection. That is going to do it for us. For Joe Rexroad, I am Chase McCabe. Have a great night, everybody.
This is Draft Night in Nashville. Your sports live here on
Good job.
102.5 and 106.
Thank you. See you.
And the Game Nashville Sports Network. The speculation is over.
With the first pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Cameron Ward, quarterback, Miami.
Cam Ward is now a Titan.
Back of the end zone, look at that throw! Cam Ward, open area, touchdown Miami.
What can we expect in year one?
I think Cam Ward